Crossover. Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover.
It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
All right, the crossover is powered by Everlow Country Repair in Omaha at everlowcountry.com.
Yeah.
No,
No.
not last night. Not Saturday night. No, I
You don't like AEW?
had a birthday party. I like it less.
I texted Josh and said, "Hey, are you going to the game?" Because I wanted to grab some brews at DJ's Dugout, my officially favorite place in the world. And I got a prime spot. I sent Gary a picture. I got to show you where I was sitting. I had all the TVs in front of me. It was incredible.
Hard to miss him at DJ's Dugout. Many TVs.
I was sitting right on the edge, and I had them front facing, and they were all at me. It was, oh my God, there's nothing better than sitting down at a sport bar knowing that you have all the screens able to you in one turn of the head,
It's nice.
Reserve your seat for Thursday and Friday, the NCAA tournament. Gets packed.
No. That's what my house is for.
What do you? Well, yeah, I'm having the debate. So my roommate Dan got off the Thursday and Friday of the NCAA tournament. He works at a hospital.
Wow.
And he was like, "Yeah, I want off." And they're like, "All right, cool."
He didn't use I'm having a vasectomy.
No, nothing like that. He
That's a good
just
one to
told him
use.
he didn't want to go to work, and
I
they
got to
were
watch
fine.
the NCAA tournament.
But I was telling Matt earlier, so meeting the two wrestlers, the Outrunners, when you meet them away from the team and the crowd, they're normal. So they tell you what their real name is. Like I went, "Hi, I'm Gary. I do the games on the radio."
Wait a minute. So this is all a bit?
Yeah, they broke kayfabe.
I'm like,
Wow.
They broke kayfabe.
but so this is like behind the scenes. But then when the team is around, they immediately shift into character. And I was telling Matt, what a lifestyle to live, that you always have to be in the character of your professional wrestling.
Scary.
You're like stereotype.
I don't like it.
And well, that's the
It's a
one thing.
lot.
You don't always have to be in it. Like you can break what we call in the business Happer kayfabe. All right, that's what they call it. You can break kayfabe, but it's not encouraged. It's not like back in the old days. You didn't break kayfabe in the 90s. Now with Undertaker and Kane in the room, you didn't break the kayfabe. You didn't.
Those
shoot.
guys are pros.
They're pros.
Those guys are pros.
Right? You didn't go on the ring and run a shoot promo or anything like that, or go into business for yourself, Happer. Which
No.
you do. You like to go into business for yourself, don't you, Happer?
Sure.
He's always going. Happer always goes into business for himself. That's
like
what
money.
I always tell people. They're like, "What do you think of Happer?" I go, "He's always going into business for himself."
That's right.
Well, no one here will go into business for him, so he's got to do it himself.
Exactly. Now, I mean, this place is like Jim Crockett Promotions.
Exactly.
Let me introduce you to the manager.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
But I was
Thank
like,
you, Josh.
that's just they were great, but that's just like a whole different world that I could never be involved in. Now into
I
bigger,
would love to be involved in the wrestling world. Like if they came up to me
you
one
could
day,
you could be the lady that was their talent, is one of the talent people from AEW that accompanied them.
No.
That you wouldn't be a
I would
wrestler.
have to be an announcer. No, I am not a wrestler. I would be a great manager. I'd be an awesome manager, or be maybe an announcer, or like a sideline, like backstage, like Byron Saxton, where he's interviewing everybody, or Kathy Kelly. I'd love that.
Okay.
I'd
All
love
right.
to get into wrestling.
Well, got the end now.
And
And our close
Tony.
personal friend, Josh Jarrett, or Jason Jarrett.
Jeff
or
Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett.
Are
You were
you
getting there.
kidding me?
Yeah.
good job, you were getting there.
Yeah. Josh, Jason, whatever. They're all cool.
And not whatever. The guy is like
He was in this room.
he's
We
like a
talked
really
to him.
good
He sat in that
wrestler.
chair.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a former Hall of Famer.
He called me
Current
slap
Hall
nuts.
of Famer,
Yeah.
Jeff Jarrett. He
His
is
skin was glistening.
Yeah,
It
probably.
was.
He's
It
a
was.
Nashville boy, Jeff
Yeah.
Jarrett.
I,
Did he smash? Did he have his guitar? Did he
I
bring his
wanted
guitar?
I wanted to smoke me with a guitar. He didn't do it.
If we bring in a wrestling, if we get to interview a wrestling talent, which I'm hoping and I'm praying, I'm gonna say, can I take a bump? Like I want a bump. Like I'll take a slap to the chest.
Okay.
I'll take a Ric Flair chop.
Jeff Jarrett pointed at me and said, "None of this matters. It's not Tennessee football." And at the time, I thought it was funny, and now it just rings
Wow.
very, very true.
Wow.
You should tweet at him.
You should tweet
Scared?
him. Your
Do you have
close
any
personal
takes?
friend.
Are you scared?
You have any takes?
your close personal friend Jeff Jarrett, and you should text your close personal friend Frank Caliendo.
Well, they're all Josh's close personal friends.
Yeah.
Got to go through the manager.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hooters or Twin Peaks?
I don't think that.
Are we eating or drinking?
That's a great question.
Okay, let's do eating.
Hooters.
I don't know.
The Hooters wings are elite. That's the one thing.
Are they?
I don't know.
Oh, they're great. Oh, they're great. I
think there are. That's
Overrated?
word of mouth. Like, oh, that's the only thing at Hooters to eat.
No,
Yeah, people
the
say
wings
that.
are good at Hooters.
Okay, beer.
Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks.
Yeah, easy.
It's got the ice.
So let me ask you.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't
'cause
think that I've ever been to a Twin Peaks.
Oh, Twin Peaks are great. Twin Peaks is fun.
Twin Peaks is what Hooters was 20 years ago,
Yes.
and they have never deviated from that. While
No.
Hooters has kind of changed,
Hooters has gone. They've gone PC.
but
They've lost their edge.
should it be a bigger story that Hooters applied for bankruptcy?
Yes, it should have been.
No, it should be what? No.
It should be. I mean, that's a great American staple.
Where was John Gruden?
Yeah, boy, that didn't last very long.
Do you want to see this? Do you want to see
Well, 'cause-
TwinPeaks.com?
So
That's the
Careful.
first picture on Twin
Not on
Peaks.
the company.
That's a picture of beer
Wi-Fi.
and
Yeah.
wings.
Not on the company Wi-Fi. I'm never on the company
okay,
Wi-Fi.
so
Smart man.
Hooters usually is a big advertiser during the NCAA men's basketball tournament.
Yeah.
Wonder if they'll be
Oh. Can't-
involved.
Not anymore.
But okay, so
Not
Here
when you're-
comes Tilted Kilt.
Not when
So,
you're bankrupt.
like in Fort Myers, for example, there is a
that's
super well. The original is in Clearwater,
Yeah.
which is awesome. But in Fort Myers, there was one on the beach right next to the Lani Kai that got destroyed by Ian. I don't think they're coming back. But then there's one on a very busy road that is packed all the time. Like everybody goes there. So in the South, like Hooters is still big. Twin Peaks is bigger around the country. But why can't we keep a Hooters or a Twin Peaks in this town? Like we're down to 2 Hooters.
Probably
I think we're
because
done.
we're a town full of adults.
It's families.
Are you the person that ran Hooters out of Lincoln?
Yes, he definitely is. You
Hooters
just don't
if,
know fun.
if by running them out you mean not going there,
Yeah, you
yes.
just this guy, just on his high horse, just thinks he's so
Happer,
great and so
you have to
family
understand.
friendly. He gets a kid and he changed.
In that town where they are
I wouldn't know. I didn't know you
rather
before you had a kid.
conservative, Hooters moves in at, what was it, like 66th and O. There's a Union Bank there now. They took over the Hooters building. They didn't change it. It's a bank.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where Hooters was.
Yeah.
My buddy, who is a plastic surgeon, took care of 8 waitresses.
Nice.
That's awesome.
They brought in, so when they opened, they brought in like the best looking waitresses from
You
around
have
the country
to. That's what it is.
for
Hooters.
the first like 2 weeks while they were training the local staff, and the local staff was recovering from surgery. Okay. No, it was. He did business. He was like, he was disappointed when Hooters closed.
I can't believe
But
Hooters.
people
is
were
not,
protesting in Lincoln of Hooters opening up. I'm thinking, it's in a college town. This is
Yeah.
great. It's not near the college,
Mhm.
but it didn't last very long. It got like run out of Lincoln.
Well,
Let me
people
tell you
are
this
smart.
right now. If they put a Hooters on O, oh my lord! You put an O Street Hooters, that thing would be rocking.
what are you guys talking about?
that
You
thing
guys
would be
love
incredible.
Hooters?
I love Hooters. Hooters
I'm
is
not.
great.
I'm not. I haven't been to Hooters in a while.
I drank at my first Hooters a couple months ago.
well, when you
Sick.
go there for your birthday, you know what they do? They put the bucket on your hat,
Yeah.
and they bang the bucket, and you drink a oyster shot.
Wow.
All of that sounds
Yeah.
awful.
Wow.
I got my buddy Dave. My buddy Dave loves Hooters. Now, Dave loves Hooters because of the food, but he goes there a lot. So Dave and I will hit the Hooters quite often in the Chicagoland area.
Oh, okay. Out there.
yeah. Oh, they got plenty of
you-
Hooters out in Chicago.
You are old enough to remember the Hooters at 124th and Center was like packed all the time. Great location.
Packed all the time.
This radio station, like every Monday night, we were out there.
Yeah, I remember hearing stories of that. Definitely. I mean, there's a reason it's not there anymore, right? There's a reason it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
yeah.
But then
Yeah.
they opened up out at, out by Bass Pro. And
Yeah,
The Cabela's?
are they?
What is that, a Cabela's
Are
or a
they?
Bass
Are
Pro?
they going out there still?
yeah, they're out there where they're right by Alamo.
Okay, all right, cool.
La
I know there's one
Vista.
over by the casinos.
Mhm.
Is
Yes,
that one
right.
still there?
Right by the field house and then the War Horse.
I've been to. I went to the one in Vegas at the old, now gone and wiped out for a potential A's stadium. What was the old casino that was sitting there? Whatever it was, the
Yeah.
Tropicana. There was one inside there. I went there once.
Isn't there one further down on the strip still?
I think so. I think so. And then I went to the one in the Mall of America once. There's one. There was one, or is one in the Mall.
What's
of
more
America.
family friendly than the Mall of America?
Exactly.
True. Well,
I didn't want to wait an hour and a half to sit at Bubblegum Shrimp.
I've never eaten.
Why is? Come on, people. Why? How did Bubba Gump Shrimp in this country get so popular?
Probably because the movie Forrest Gump.
Yeah, it's just in the South though. There's none in the Midwest.
No, there is one near the wharf in San Francisco that is extremely popular,
Really?
and I'm like, you're right next to the friggin' ocean.
Mhm.
You don't think you go find a local place?
People love that movie, and they're scared to eat. Like they
Stuff
want,
that they don't know.
They want some recourse if this meal goes south.
Okay, now I think you're onto something because this may have been one of the downfalls.
I don't cook fish at home. I don't know how to cook it. I'll go to Bubba Gump.
Okay, you're right.
What voice was that?
This always bugged me living in Fort Myers is why do we have Red Lobster? We've got all these great local places.
No.
We had
Red
friends come down
Lobster's
from
great.
Nebraska, and I'm giving them these options of local fish where literally in the morning they catch the fish in the Gulf, and then it's on your plate.
It's beautiful.
And they said, you know what? Red Lobster is always good.
Yeah, I agree. There should not be a Red
And I was
Lobster
like,
in
you got to be
Florida.
friggin' kidding me.
Yeah.
What gets more run in Florida? Waffle House or Hooters?
They're neck and neck.
Really?
Well, one of them doesn't close.
Yeah.
That's right.
I thought you would say Waffle House by a landslide. I didn't know that Hooters had it like
Hooters
that.
is extremely popular.
Hell yeah. I can
Like
move to Florida.
like you look at a lot of like spring break locations,
Hell yeah,
they're in
yeah.
a prime spot.
Huh.
But Bubba Gump Shrimp, so everybody takes their picture with Forrest Gump outside. He's on the bench outside of every one. But I don't know why that is so popular because it is garbage. Chris writes in.
Hi, Chris.
Atmosphere, Twin Peaks. Food, Hooters.
Yeah.
I buy the Hooters wing sauce from Hy-Vee for my own wings at home. Favorite wing sauce. I was more concerned about not being able to buy it than the restaurant's closing when the bankruptcy news broke.
Oh, wow.
Devin Booker was upset.
Is that the best? Is that the best like restaurant sauce that they sell in stores, or do you still go to the
Chick-fil-A, right?
St. Elmo's cocktail sauce?
Ooh.
I got that in my fridge.
The Chick-fil-A sauce, I think, is pretty popular.
Chick-fil-A sauce is a huge hit.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen, does Freddy's have sauce in the grocery stores
Their
here?
fry sauces in the stores.
Mhm.
Yes.
How is it?
It's good. It's good. It's different enough from the Chick-fil-A sauce, but it serves the same purpose, right? The Chick-fil-A sauce is a little sweeter.
I like the Buffalo Wild Wings medium sauce.
That's in the grocery store, too.
That's in the grocery store.
Oh, I always get the Buffalo Wild Wings garlic parmesan.
See, you can do either or. They're both very good in a bottle.
Yeah. If I get bored one day, I'll just start dumping that garlic parmesan sauce on stuff.
Yeah. No, seriously. No, it's a great way to do it. Now, I really do think that Buffalo Wild Wings medium buffalo sauce is like one of the better buffalo sauces, period. Just like it's just simple.
Yeah.
It's standard. You know what you're getting. You know what you're eating. You're going to get a little bit of flavor, a little bit of heat. Like you can't go wrong. You don't need to like get fancy with it. You just go with the Buffalo Wings medium sauce.
There's just so many options out there now.
No, just got to keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple. Buffalo Wild Wings, buffalo sauce.
Naked wings, sauce on the side.
You're like my father. Same way.
Just try it once.
See, I like to dip it in a little ranch.
It gets a little bit much sometimes, where you got to take some breaks if you got a sauce that may be too hot.
That's why the Hooters wings are just drenched.
They're
breaded, fried, and then they're drenched.
You eat them with a fork.
Your eyes and your fingers are burning after you eat wings there.
So for me, though, like I had a really big beef with Buffalo Wild Wings, and they've since changed it. But their Scoville meter on their menu, they would tell you how hot it is on the Scoville on right on the piece of paper. Inaccurate. I mean, they were telling me that Asian Zing was like some walk in the park, that it was, it's like gochujang sauce. It's no big deal. And then you have it and your mouth is burning and your stomach is fired up. Like I was very disappointed. They've since changed it, but you gotta restaurants have got to be careful with their Scoville units on their menus when they're telling you how hot their sauces are.
Yeah, because they go into the millions.
Yes.
And you're like, million?
But they don't. They don't.
Why
give
is
you
it
the
on a
number.
scale of 1 to 10?
They don't
Why
give-
is it on the scale of 1 to 68 million?
They do a little bit of a bar, like they do a green bar, and like
Yeah.
it gets like to mid, like it's always green, yellow, and red. You know, an Asian Zing
I
was
don't know
in the
about
yellow,
Mr.
and it
Scoville.
should have been in the red.
So what'd you do? Email the company?
I just said, I just got really mad about it, and I just told my friends, I go, this is a hunk of you know what.
Let's go to the origins of the Scoville scale.
Have you seen the Buffalo Wild Wings menu Scoville scale?
I have.
Yeah.
It's pretty good now, and I feel like there are a lot of people like myself who were very disappointed with it about 8 years ago, and they've since adjusted.
I just think I look at it, it's like this is 18 million Scovilles, and they're like, that's mild.
Well,
it's
I
like
mean,
peanut butter.
who
And I'm
are
like,
the-
what? What are you
who-
talking about?
Who are the psychos who are like, you know what? I'm going to crossbreed a Carolina Reaper with a ghost pepper to make this super, super hot pepper for this super, super hot sauce.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point?
I think we're past that as a country
Exactly.
now, though.
We're
past
done
that.
with the ghost pepper challenge
Yeah.
and the Carolina Reaper. There's nothing fun about it, right? I mean, they're making hot sauces now where if you have too much of it, you could have a heart attack. What's the point? It's supposed to be for flavor.
Yeah. The Scoville scale, is named after American pharmacist Wilbur Scoville.
Wilbur is right up.
The 1912 whose 1912 method is known as the Scoville organoleptic test. Scoville organoleptic test is a subjective assessment derived from the capsaicinoid sensitivity by people experiencing with eating hot chilies.
Well, the Scoville scale goes all the way up to pepper spray.
Really?
Yeah. If you look at the Scoville
How many
scale,
million is that?
it's anywhere from 2 million to 5 million is considered to be
So
pepper spray.
right now,
That
on-
implies that it's edible.
the highest thing on the Wikipedia page on the Scoville scale is something called Pepper X, which is
Oh yeah.
How many-
2.6 million Scoville.
Wait,
I believe
is
the-
that an eatable? Is that an eatable
Pepper
hot
X.
sauce?
Edible would be the word.
It's
Um,
in the Scoville range of pepper spray.
I
You're
believe-
eating pepper spray.
I believe that is the pepper that Hot Ones created.
See
Oh.
why?
Pepper X.
Yeah.
See, like you go up, like you're like, no heat, and then a pimento, and then an Anaheim pepper, then a poblano, then you get up to the jalapeno, then you're kind of making your way up. There's a Scotch bonnet, habanero, and then all of a sudden it's pepper spray.
Mhm.
I mean, there's just we go 0 to 100 real quick.
I
On the
can't
Scoville
get a
scale.
read on you, Gary. Do you go really hot or do you go really mild?
I go mild.
Okay.
I got a stomach that
Okay.
would not take.
That's okay.
Josh,
Nothing
what
wrong
was the Scoville scale on some of those chilies?
with- You know,
Hooters did go woke.
if you're gonna tell me, like if you're gonna call the chili insanity or something like that, it better be hot. It wasn't.
Interesting. So did you dock that chili because it was lying to you?
It did play a factor. In the
I agree.
scoring.
I agree
Yes.
with that. Don't lie to
Yeah.
me.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't want my
Like
chili
if it's
to lie
going
to
to
me.
be advertised as that, I better have some jalapenos in there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because
chilies.
I'm preparing myself for something completely
Yes.
different.
Mhm.
Then it changes
Right.
your expectations.
I'm taking they didn't win.
Zach
did not.
from Cape Coral writes in, Hooters is always packed here, and there's Waffle Houses that are just empty all the time. There you go.
Cape Coral or Cape Corral?
Cape Corral, that's what I always say. Is that
Cape
wrong?
Coral.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
in, it's
get it
in,
right.
it's next to Fort Myers.
Oh, it's not two different places. It's one place. Cape
Well,
Coral.
it's so Cape Coral is like it's a humongous city that has just grown, but it's over the bridge. From
Is there
Fort
not a
Myers.
Cape Corral?
There's
I
a
was-
golden. There's one
I
that
was called
there's a
Cape
golden.
Coral.
I've heard the name Cape. Maybe I just messed that up.
There might
my
be a
whole
Cape
life.
Corral somewhere else. I just know there it's Cape Coral.
Maybe I just messed that up my whole life. Okay,
But
Zach
they
from
have
Cape Coral.
They have a popular.
People are coming at me. People are coming at me right now. Being like, Asian zing isn't hot. This hot sauce isn't hot. It's all relative. All right. Everything on your tongue is relative to what it is. All right. You can't shame me for things being a little bit hot. Yeah, I got an Irish tongue. Okay. I don't do well with heat.
You're white.
Older people.
Well,
have
I'm
a
also
more
Latin.
sophisticated.
I'm also
Yeah.
just as much Latin
Oh,
as I
that's-
am.
that's
as
right.
I'm literally
That does
probably
not help your
more
case here
Latin
in this
than,
instance.
than
Yeah.
Irish. No, I got the Irish tongue. I got the hairiness of a Latino.
They got the
but,
gift of gab.
I did get the gift of gab.
That's what
You got
he's
the hairiness of a Latino.
I just got my Latin relatives are pretty hairy, and I'm hairy.
The hairiness of a Latino.
Don't quote me. I'm gonna get canceled.
I didn't know
I'm gonna get canceled.
that.
I'm gonna get canceled.
I didn't know that was an expectation among the Latino
I
community.
got the hairiness of my Latino relatives. That's what I got. My relative Latino relatives.
The ones he knows are hairy.
I got
the hairiness of a Latino, but nothing else. Okay.
I can't speak Spanish, so
well,
are you swarthy?
Yeah.
Yo hablo poquito.
Okay.
I got the hair. I meant like the hairiness.
We'll try and put
my...
this to a test if you're out in the community today.
Hey, how hairy is this guy? Is he like a Latino?
Are you Latino? And then I have a follow-up question.
What do you think? More lumberjack, or what do you think?
I don't know. Seems Italian.
Yeah, you're getting canceled.
Yeah. That's tough.
It's over. Sorry,
I meant
Matt.
like my relatives are hairy, and I got their hairiness.
I get it. I know what
You're just checking out their legs.
I know what you're going for.
Dude, well, shorts tomorrow.
Just say yes.
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 Shorts tomorrow. That's
Shorts
the plan.
Tomorrow. Shorts tomorrow. We all agreed we're wearing shorts.
Everybody
tomorrow.
should be wearing shorts. Why not? Come on.
I just think once you go shorts, it's hard to put that toothpaste back in the tube.
We're now back to shorts and hoodie, so you're good.
Yeah, but we're gonna go back to pants at some point.
No, I don't.
I just don't.
I've been telling him this.
I don't think
we're
it'll
in
get cold enough to be pants again.
That's not true.
This
you
is
know,
false spring, and everybody knows.
Yeah.
it.
But as long as you're wearing the hoodie, you're warm up top and it filters down.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
no, it doesn't.
I
That's
just
not how heat works.
That's not how heat works. But I don't want my shorts to go to the top of the pants pile because I have a pants pile, and I don't want to dig underneath the shorts to get my pants for the rest of the winter, which we still have many weeks of.
You don't separate your shorts and your pants.
There's a pile. There's
They call me the slob.
Some things are hung up, some things are not. And
exactly,
there's a pile.
Like I would never hang up my hoodies. My
they're
hoodies have a pile.
They're folded.
Oh yeah, sure.
They're folded.
Yeah, I believe you.
Well,
there's a pile.
It's a stack, if you will.
No, that's the same thing. It's a pile.
A stack.
There's no.
Well, stack makes it seem orderly.
You're just trying to put a little je ne sais quoi on your messiness. That's all. With your stack.
Not messy. You're messy.
You're messy.
Trash boy.
You're you're pile boy. You make a pile of clothes.
It's a stack.
It's a pile.
It's a stack.
It's a pile. It's the same thing. Tomato, tomato, potato, potato.
Oh, Josh, your guy, Stomp Tromp Roar is here.
Here?
He's in the YouTube comments.
Hi, Ranger Anthony.
He says, I love Bubba Gump.
Oh,
I love Bubba
look
Gump.
at that. Sticking up for Bubba Gump.
Bubba Gump has got you fooled. Okay, it's expensive.
Fool.
It is a tourist
But
trap.
they do so well at the presentation.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, Bubba Gump.
Believe?
I remember that movie.
You're on vacation. You go to Daytona Beach. There are so many better places to eat at. Oh, let's go to Bubba Grump.
You could get
Bubba Gump
Bubba
right on the
Grump.
water.
All kinds of shrimp. You could boil it. You could broil it. You could saute it.
Can I get any of those at your local establishment?
Yes.
Is Bubba Gump shrimp
Well,
just
okay,
shrimp?
Here, this is why when you go on vacation,
That's a good question.
why do you go to a
I don't
chain?
Hey, maybe you need.
I don't know. It's-
I would
maybe
maybe go to a chain I can't get in Omaha.
Yeah.
That okay, like Shake Shack
Sure.
or In and Out or
You don't get Shake Shack here?
Whataburger.
We don't have Shake Shack here. No.
Oh, wow.
Not normal.
It's
Kansas
awesome.
City. That's the closest Shake Shack.
Rod Yates has got one coming in with that. hockey
Don't
team,
worry.
though.
Don't worry. He's got us covered on all the things we need. Thank you, Rod.
Where would you like to start on that
Well,
one?
thank you, Rod. It's appreciated.
He just needs everyone else to pay for it,
Hashtag thank you, Rod.
allegedly.
Good Life District, not such a good life. Okay, so I'll give you that. If you're on vacation, if there's a chain that you can't get here,
Absolutely.
yeah, like Rubio's.
That's why people go
Tacos,
to
fish tacos.
not Shake Shack, the other burger place all the time.
Five Guys.
No.
In and
In
out.
and out.
And now. That's the one.
Do you think people that come on
Which
vacation
is fine.
here,
It's just fine.
they go to Runza?
They should.
I don't think
They probably go to-
Runza doesn't have.
I mean,
that
you
pull.
know when the people descend on Omaha for the College World Series, they all end up in the Drover six
Yeah.
nights in a row. It's like, let's go to the Drover.
Is there a chain in Omaha, like the guy coming up from Fayetteville? This would be new to him. that's not Runza.
Godfather.
I don't
Fast
think
food place.
Amigos.
Amigos might be.
Amigos. Good one, Josh.
Taco John's.
I think that's a good
Mhm.
question. The next time you meet strangers at the zoo, ask them, you're in town visiting. Where are you going to go eat?
Are there a lot of Long John Silvers in the South?
I don't know that. How many Long John Silvers do we have left?
Not many.
If any.
There's one that I see. I don't know
Couple?
where it is.
Was the last one on 84th?
Well,
there's
the
one
one
that
on
turned
Saddle
into-
Creek is still there.
Is there one on Dodge?
Oh, that's right. There is.
The one on Saddle
So
Creek.
Saddle Creek
Saddle
right here
Creek.
is still open.
Yeah.
I get.
Wow.
Yeah, hell yeah.
7 in Nebraska.
Chicken tenders.
3.
Isn't it fish?
3 in Omaha.
I've never been to one. I've never been to a Long John Silver.
Content. Matt goes to Long John
Hey,
Silver's.
Boom.
Harry
was,
Matt.
There was something about the Long John
Harry
Silvers,
Matt.
Harry.
Messy Matt.
the hush
Harry
puppies,
Man.
but also the crisp things that were left over that would be in the bottom of the bag.
The crackling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I want Popeyes.
You just dump
today.
that whole bag into your mouth.
Mhm.
Oh. I mean, that might be the only thing that's been keeping Long John Silver's alive.
What?
Is the hush puppy and the leftovers.
Oh, good one from Stibbs. Don and Millie's. Send him to Don and Millie's.
Okay.
You can't get that anywhere else.
You get a margarita.
Have you guys
They're
been
still
to
99 cents.
Whataburger?
Yes.
Whataburger? Yes. Now,
I-
Whataburger they
I
have in
have.
Fayetteville. I visited the Fayetteville Whataburger.
What did we think of Whataburger?
I'm team Whataburger.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay.
They're in Kansas City because of Patrick Mahomes
Bobby Witt Jr.
and Bobby Witt Jr.
I think I have to
Give
give
credit to my boy.
Whataburger another shot. I think I had a bad Whataburger experience. It just wasn't good.
Yeah.
Not the burger.
Go
I
ahead. Try that again.
believe I have heard, maybe the Grow Omaha guys were discussing this, that somebody has tried to get Whataburger to come just another 3 hours north.
Rod Yates. Oh, okay.
No.
3 hours north. They're going to
in
get a
Kansas
Whataburger
City.
in
So
Sioux
that's the
Falls?
furthest north that
Oh.
Whataburger has gone.
Oh, Whataburger 3 hours
Yeah.
north from
So
Kansas
they're
City.
now trying to get them to come up to Nebraska.
Why not? Dip your toe in the water. It's fine.
I think it would do well.
I mean, I'm really surprised that we've never had a Waffle House here.
This is why. I mean, this has been the place where you could test things out. We were one of the first. We're the first towns to get the Taco Bell breakfast
That's right.
test market. Taco Bell breakfast
Now
right
look
here
at
See
it
that
flourishing.
in Omaha,
That day.
Nebraska. It's a dip of the toe into the south, into the west, into the north. All the things. Omaha.
What is a part of the Taco Bell breakfast? What is? Are there any
breakfast crunch wraps?
Okay. Is
Uh,
it just breakfast themed of all the other stuff that they?
Yeah, breakfast burritos.
Yeah, it's a good breakfast.
Yeah.
It's a good breakfast.
Okay.
It is. Breakfast
So
quesadilla.
breakfast
Well, I would-
cheesy gordita
I
supreme.
would-
Mhm.
I would love your power rankings of fast food breakfasts.
Oh,
Breakfasts.
Connors?
yeah.
Okay.
Josh, you can chime in here.
Dude, I do love Amigos.
really?
Yeah. Amigos, I
For
think
breakfast?
Amigos and Taco John's, I think, have the two best breakfast burritos in fast food that I have discovered.
So you're a burrito guy for breakfast. You're not a sandwich guy necessarily.
Different things for different places. Those I've found to be the best two items at those places. McDonald's, I won't get a burrito. I'll get a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit.
Oh, good move. Gotta get the
McGr-
biscuit.
McGriddles
Good
are
man. I'm glad you said biscuit,
Biscuit,
over bagel.
Yeah.
over bagel.
You could live in the South.
and the
in the
McGriddles
muffin.
are a little bit too much. It's just
I like a good. See, I don't like the sausage McGriddle, but I'll do a bacon McGriddle
a bacon McGriddle.
because I like that it's like a pancake.
Pedro says send them to King Kong. Used to be right
Okay.
well, still over there, right
No,
by Rosenblatt.
I had
Yeah, it is.
King Kong. For the
The
first time.
gorilla is still there.
Oh yeah, can't get rid of that. That thing is. That
No,
thing
my
is-
child's very aware of that gorilla
That
outside
thing
the
is
window.
structurally important.
Have you been forced to go to King Kong because your son wants to see more of the
I
gorillas?
have not.
Mm-mm.
I don't know how we will get through the summer.
No
DP
gyro,
dough?
gyro.
DP Dough for people who
What?
come to the College World Series who are looking for a chain.
DP dough.
DP Dough?
You don't know what DP Dough is? You
Oh, is
know
that a
what DP
pizza spot?
Yeah, DP Dough.
I feel like I've heard of that. I don't think I've been
Is that
there.
not in Omaha?
I don't
Do they
think
not
that's a
have one?
fast food.
Or is that just Lincoln only?
I don't know what.
I think that is that only a Lincoln thing. DP Dough. I thought it was like more of DP
Hey,
Dough.
you know what?
places.
You Lincoln folks.
You keep
you
saying
have, you
DB
have
Dough.
Blaze Pizza. You have
LeBron Pizza. That place is okay.
what's the
Pizza.
what's the chicken tender place? Slim
Raising
Chickens.
Canes. Raising
Slim
Canes.
No, we
Chickens,
have
yeah.
Raising Canes here.
Yeah, Slim Chickens.
Slim
they got one
Chickens.
of those in Lincoln. Yeah,
I wonder why Slim Chickens has never made it to Omaha.
I don't know.
I know the proprietor is a Lincoln guy.
He is. Yes.
Is Slim Chickens on the bracket?
Oh,
I don't think
on
it's
Jack's
allowed. I don't think
brackets?
it's allowed.
Oh, okay.
It's fast food.
Okay.
where's Wendy's on your breakfast ranking?
Low.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't like a breakfast baconator?
I do not.
Wow, that's a hot take.
I know. Sorry. I'm full of them.
It's pretty great.
All right.
I love a breakfast baconator.
Have a good show.
Thank you. You guys have a great day. Enjoy your outdoor time, your outside time.
Golf today?
Probably a little mucky out there.
Yeah, I don't think
We just go the range.
Give it a couple more days.
bring the clubs on Friday.
All right, that's a crossover powered by Every Level Concrete Repair at Omaha at everylevelconcrete.com. It's Monday. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone.
A spring-like Monday ahead to start the week. Expect partly sunny skies with a light west-northwest breeze. Temperatures climbing into the 60s. Can't rule out a few sprinkles north of the metro, though most remain dry. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
AEF Academy is one of the fastest growing youth basketball programs in the entire Omaha area. AEF stands for attitude, effort, and focus, three core values that are instilled in every athlete to become impact players, both on the court and in their communities. AEF hosts competitive teams, camps, and valuable instruction opportunities for players at all levels. Check them out today online at aefacademy.com. AEF Academy, developing great athletes and even better humans.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Welcome in. Happy Monday, everyone. It's the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you, back from a weekend with sunshine. And the sunshine continues. Enjoy it now while it lasts, because the unrelenting stress of winter will return.
Whoa.
It will. Now you've gotten a little taste. This feels nice.
First taste is free.
All of a sudden, you thought you were hardened Midwest folk living in sub-zero temperatures for weeks and weeks at a time, or, sub-freezing anyway. And now all of a sudden we get a little taste of 60 today, and all of a sudden 32 next week is going to feel miserable. A tradition unlike any other.
Yeah.
So
this isn't the end.
No.
How is Mount Happer? What's the status of Mount Happer,
good
by
question.
the way?
Let's go walk over.
Connor walking over to the window, peering out.
It's dirty. It's dirty.
Okay, sure.
But it is it is in existence. Oh, look, and it has our friend is back.
Oh, okay.
In the parking lot. He's not brandishing a weapon today.
That's good.
That's good. He is coming near our door, though.
Totally normal. Watch out, Matt.
So, all right. Hopefully he doesn't do anything to Mount Happer. And hopefully the flag sitting in there doesn't become a weapon.
A weapon?
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll watch out for that one. Welcome, everybody. Hope you enjoyed your weekends.
I did.
Yeah, we're gonna get the inside scoop on the chili cook-off straight from Josh's butt.
You'll find out today. And then
I couldn't help but notice that you had Chinese the night before you ate at the chili cook-off, and I thought, that's an interesting 24 hours of food for you, my friend.
How the hell did you know I had Chinese?
You tweeted about it.
I did?
Or you tweeted about it, or you sent a text. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah. I sent a text to you and
a friend,
mutual friend of ours.
A friend, yes.
Because we like to
talk about those places.
We like to check in on those places.
So you had Chinese food, and then a mere, 18 hours later, you were stuffing your face with 12 bowls of hot chili.
Well, I was tired from the birthday party. We had the birthday party for the boy. Dino Ranger Anthony was there. Stomp, Chomp, Roar.
Let's go.
It was great. Fun time was had by all.
One of your close personal friends?
Yes,
of course.
He is.
Black Hat says that dude is 110% ending up with the flag stick.
Yeah, we maybe didn't think that one all the way through.
That would be the end of whatever Matt is trying to accomplish with his Mount McMaster deal.
As well as many windshields in our parking lot.
Yeah. That's all right. We'll get taken care of. Today on the show, we'll talk to Mike Schaefer at 11:30, Sam McEwen at 1. That is the lineup powered by the referees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We'd love to hear from you all. 402-951-1620. You can call or text that number on the hotline. Tweet at Happer Show, at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor Josh Show at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning to the YouTube streamers today. What's up, brother? Where apparently, I guess this came in from Twitter, but he's a common YouTube watcher. Theo.
What up, Theo?
Has asked ChatGPT which 1620 The Zone producer is best at the electronics.
The electronics.
Yes.
Okay.
ChatGPT has responded. If we're talking about who at 1620 The Zone is the best with the technical and electronic side of things, it's probably Josh Odson.
I don't think that's true.
He's been around for a long time.
Not as long as others.
And seems to have a strong handle on the behind-the-scenes operation, making sure everything runs smoothly.
That can't possibly be true.
If there's someone else you're thinking of, let me know. That's what ChatGPT says.
Let me know.
But from an outsider's perspective, Odson seems like the go-to guy for the tech side of things. Congrats, Josh.
I appreciate
you are best at the electronics.
The electronics. Congrats. I don't believe that.
You did it
to be true.
Well, ChatGPT said it.
I don't.
Thank you, Theo, for sending that in. It's appreciated.
I mean, I can't even get a new hook for our limp mics.
Yeah,
I'm not the best at running things.
Well, you gotta know your strengths, and ChatGPT apparently does not know yours. That's okay.
But it is asking to be corrected.
Just take the compliment.
Okay.
ChatGPT's got your back. That's what we're looking for.
Thanks, ChatGPT.
Yeah, and thank you, Theo, for asking. Elsewhere, we will take a look at what in the world is going on at UNO, the epicenter of the college sports world.
You're going to have to deal with the Maverick mojo.
Yeah. There would be no sense in fighting it. I'm not sure why you would at this point. We'll investigate today why people keep trying to dunk on Ryan Kalkbrenner.
Seems like a foolish endeavor. But twice a week, we got to watch it.
Many failed. Sometimes 3 times in one game.
Yeah.
That happened yesterday. We'll jump back into the Tennessee-Nebraska thing, and I can officially no longer tell if people are mad or not about the Tennessee thing.
Oh, people are furious about this.
Are they? But Troy Danon is receiving no emails. He's not getting any emails.
I hate to break your sensitive hearts.
Troy Danon got less emails about this than me on Friday. Connor Happer. If you believe him.
I think Troy Danon might be a liar.
Wow. Josh. Wow. What evidence do you have? I can't wait till someone FOIAs that inbox. Let's check it out. Let's see what's going on in there. Did he actually get some emails? Or maybe people just don't email anymore.
Runts BC, get on that.
We'll dive into that. Nebrasketball with their best chance for a signature win tonight in Lincoln. Big Monday, Josh. It's not the Big 12 anymore, but it's still Big Monday. As far as I'm concerned.
It is Big Monday. That's right.
It is a Big Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a big deal for Nebraska basketball after not having a game this weekend. And I would like to make a personal note about Jack Caglione.
Oh?
He's arrived to Arizona to hit absolute nukes.
Anything else?
That's all.
Okay.
I don't have a take. I would just like to present the facts.
Not a stand-up double, not a sack, not a sack fly.
Dongs, Josh.
Okay.
Dongs. I don't have any takes. I don't have any projections. I don't have any thoughts. I just wanted to present the facts. He has come to Arizona to hit bombs. That's all. That's the topic.
That's a role that someone has to play.
Text from the 785, and like I said, we'll jump into this later. The 785 is Kansas.
Oh.
Troy Danon for sure isn't telling the truth, and he doesn't read his emails. I bet Troy Danon reads his emails.
I think so.
I think you got to. Yeah, I think
you have to, right?
You're the athletic director. You got to read your emails.
No, I bet someone else is also reading his emails.
Many people, probably at least 2 people, have access to Troy Danon's inbox. Would be my guess. And a text from the 308.
Hi, 308.
The AI just said Josh needs a raise. So, but Josh still doesn't want to take the compliment from ChatGPT.
I might be more willing to take the compliment in that case.
Okay, good. All right, we're off and running here on a Monday. Thanks for being with us, everybody. If you're on the golf course today, then you must really love golf.
Mm-hmm. Also, we'd ask you to be respectful of the other golfers and keep us at a reasonable volume.
Cart path only. Cart path only. If you drive those things in the middle of the fairway, the ranger's going to be on their way.
Yeah. We don't need that today.
No.
You don't need those problems on a Monday.
But if you have a north-facing house.
I do.
Sorry. Your snow is not going away anytime soon.
Oh, wait. No, I don't have a north-facing house.
Okay. Well, then do you have a south-facing house?
Yeah.
Do you have a west-facing house?
South.
South? Your snow's gone.
It is.
Congratulations on your snow being gone.
That's how I knew I know I got the directions mixed up.
If you're like Connor Happer and your house faces to the cold, dark north, you still have cakes and cakes of ice on your driveway that you're angry about.
That's unfortunate.
That's okay. We'll try and melt that thing soon. All right, off and running on a Monday. Welcome to it. It's the Connor Happer Show. Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
Who's pitching tonight?
Yu Darvish, having a great year.
The Connor Happer Show.
I know about that guy.
On 1620 The Zone.
What a mess.
Hey, it's Karen with Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Ready to replace that roof? We have flexible financing options, 12 months same as cash, and don't make a payment for 90 days. And that's just one of many options we offer. Get on the schedule now with our in-house Consumer Credit Center. One call does it all for flexible payment options, affordability, and peace of mind. Visit shamrockroofer.com. That's shamrockroofer.com or call 1-866-932-3545 today.
Out here, in the middle of all these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. And sometimes, that's how it feels when you're going through tough times. Stress builds up, you have trouble sleeping, maybe your mind is racing and you just don't feel like yourself. So what do? We get help. Lots of people are struggling with their mental health. It's more common than you think. The good news is, there are people in our community who are here for us when times are tough. Sometimes, just talking to someone can make all the difference in the world, so we don't feel so alone. One thing you can do is visit loveyourmindtoday.org for simple steps you can take.
Just so we get this all straight, when we refer to things that are happening at UNO, what are the cross streets that we use?
Oh, good question.
I've seen a lot of thoughts on this. Obviously, the campus is in between, just basically off of Dodge, on what 69th, 68th, somewhere in that range. Happy Hollow.
I would go.
Or do you go?
I go the arena.
You go the arena, which is center.
Yeah.
That's an option for you. I've also seen people say, I think Gary said Pacific once as well, which is just directly in between. I mean, technically,
split the difference there.
Yeah, there's like more there. There's the Scott campus or whatever that is just off of Pacific. So I just wanted to get this straight before UNO is really get put on the map here.
Mm-hmm. We got to know where to put them on the map before.
Yeah, literally, where do we put them on the map? It can't just be Omaha. We have to specifically refer to it as 67th and Dodge, or 67th and Pacific, or 67th and Center. It's a wide range, Josh. I don't know. Maybe just say Elmwood Park Golf Course area.
I prefer Memorial Park.
Memorial Park display. See, that's across. That's on the other side of Dodge.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot say that about UNO.
Doesn't count.
So, we got to make sure we get that right. Stib says 60th and Dodge.
I think that's what most people would think.
It's square, right?
Mm-hmm.
60, and then Dodge is, it's the biggest street that we have here in Omaha. All right. Well, maybe we put that up to a vote or something like that. I don't know. Something like that. But we got to figure this out because it was a huge weekend for UNO. And now we ask, what in the world is going on? The Omaha baseball team goes down to Baton Rouge. They go call Baton Rouge, and we don't talk about what happened in the other two games, just the one game.
Don't have to.
They beat LSU in a game and took a no-hitter into the 8th inning and held on in the 9th by somehow
they tried.
They held on for dear life in the 9th inning and were able to beat the number 3 team in the country.
Yeah, this isn't LSU Northridge or something like that. This is
real Louisiana State University, like the people who come up here and
Paul Skeens University
make gumbo every summer. Eric Olson, who covers the area for the Associated Press,
hi Eric,
chatted with our dear friend Evan Porter.
Mm-hmm.
Evan Porter reveals no one beat up a trash can in the clubhouse after the win against LSU. Quote, "We talked about it. I asked my assistant coach, Darren Ruff, if he would be willing to body slam a trash can, but he said not right now."
If not now, when?
Now, Eric notes, if they sweep LSU or if they grab 2 out of 3 against LSU, then you would have trashed the trash can.
Okay.
Trash Can University. Maybe that's what we do instead of 60th and Dodge or whatever we're trying to
TCU
mess with. TCU, Trash Can U.
Yeah.
Okay. Might be some conflicts there.
Mm-hmm.
Might be some interesting conflicts there. Basketball, men's basketball clinches at least a share of the Summit League title. And also invited insane wrestlers whose, Josh, you have to tell me about these people. Their bit has something to do with trash cans originally? Or do they just
I'm not 100% on that. I think they might have added it.
Okay.
I did a quick Google.
I just love the idea of the dudes showing up with cutoff shirts, giant muscles, and huge sunglasses on and yelling. Like, that's great.
They look the part for
absolutely
for what this is.
Everybody loved it. Everybody's super into it.
Yeah.
I am here for the Mavs heater. And I'll say this. There's no telling what a weekend like that could do for your athletic department in the long run. I mean, even if it's just one baseball win, that felt significant in a weekend where you didn't win the other 2 games. But specifically, I think we're talking about basketball and getting to the NCAA tournament. Getting to the NCAA tournament absolutely puts you on the map. Absolutely and positively puts you on the map. Not positively.
Well, I mean, whatever you're thinking right now, like, oh, it's a big city. People know that Omaha exists.
Yeah, they're on the map here.
It goes into the stratosphere.
But think about, like, the teams that we see show up as 15 or 16 seeds in March Madness every year. And then all of a sudden they show up again and again and again. And you're like, oh, wow, they're going to have to deal with
Bucknell.
Exact. Good one. They're going to have to deal with Mercer. They're going to have to deal with Yale or something like that. Like, Omaha's no Yale, but it's a little bit different in that regard. But if they keep showing up in the NCAA tournament, if you do it once, you do it for the first time, I think it validates the changes that were made a decade ago. It's been a long, not that they necessarily needed that, because the move to Division I is the move to Division I, and there's no going back. But I feel like there's always been this trepidation in that community of like, gosh, was this really worth it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we kind of were pretty happy with what we were doing. We liked our football team. We loved our wrestling team. We loved our basketball team having success at that level. Like, it was a place that was really made to have really good Division II sports, and they were having success. And it was a big gamble what they did, and moving to Division I and cutting those sports that they did. And there was always going to be a transition period, but wouldn't it be nice to sort of stamp that and get a little bit of that closure? Right? Doesn't it give you a little bit of closure in that, hey, we did what we set out to do? Because when you make that move, it is, okay, this is a gamble, but could you imagine UNO, Omaha, the Mavericks in the NCAA tournament playing against Kansas or Duke or something like that? And that always was the thought that kept this sort of dream alive, that idea going. And we are on the very doorstep of that right now. I think it provides some validation. It provides some closure, and it says, hey, look, this worked, or this is something that we can all sort of embrace.
And I think there's this sort of vibe that like, oh, they're the third team in the state. Like nobody would really rally around them. That's proven to be false. I mean, there's a real buzz about the Omaha basketball team on the precipice of making the NCAA basketball tournament right now. Like that's a real thing. Like the community's rallying around them.
Yeah. I see many of the like the Omaha traditional, like, you know, the Creighton fans are all on board for this. I see that all the time. In fact, I know Platt Cat is one of them. He's in that community. He apparently was at the game and said that the wrestlers announced that they couldn't wait to be back at Liberty First Credit Union Arena.
Well, that is not where they were Saturday.
That's right.
They will be there.
Yes, at some point
in a month or so.
Yeah.
Which I imagine is why they were there in the first place.
To be fair, and I mean, like we're at an arena. This is to your point, Josh, about all the arenas that we have in Omaha. We have the big one, and then we have like 4 of them that look the same.
And if you're not from here,
Baxter being the best out of all of them, for the record,
and you get sent to Omaha to do a thing, you probably pull up to Omaha and go,
yeah, you don't know where.
How many other arenas could this podunk town possibly have?
Exactly. What do you mean? This place has 9 arenas?
Oh yeah,
like,
that's right. The Steelhouse.
You're gonna be at the other one that looks exactly like this.
You got to go see Jim Brewer at the Steelhouse. It'll totally blow your mind, man.
I think it's awesome. I think it is amazing what UNO has been able to do. To your point, Josh, about the buzz that it has created. Like there was always that when they were having so much success, but you have an opportunity to put this thing on the map a little bit here. Like not just in Omaha. Obviously, all of Omaha and probably most of the state would rally around the idea of the Mavericks going to the NCAA tournament and winning a game in the NCAA tournament, or like having that moment. And that creates a completely different type of thing for your university than we ever thought was imaginable. And they're right on the doorstep of it right now.
I have had to make some plans for broadcasting the tournament.
Hell yes, you have, boss.
Where does Gary's call go? Where does Westwood One's call go? What if Creighton and Omaha were to play a game at a similar time? Where would everything go? I've never had to account for this much basketball.
Sounds like scheduling is going to be fun for you.
It's a blast, Connor. It's an honor.
Oh yeah, by the way, we have lots of baseball that we need to throw in there, and probably some more women's basketball and stuff like that too. So enjoy that.
That's right.
Have a good time.
March 8th sounds like hell.
This is awesome. This is fantastic.
It is. It's great, and couldn't be happier for him.
No telling what that might do in the long run. Finish it off, get yourself to the NCAA tournament, and we'll see what happens next.
Yeah, you got to finish the run.
Finish the job. Get those wrestlers to come back and say, "Finish the job." I'm sure that's something that they would say. All right, we're back with the 11 o'clock hour coming up. We'll dive into Troy Danon's inbox and how empty it is. Coming up on 1620 The Zone.
let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
Just another reason the group chats are horrible, Josh.
Yes.
Just another reason.
Great take.
So apparently, this is a new thing that I've learned. Sometimes they don't work. Sometimes you miss out on some of the conversation.
Had a lovely conversation. Just thought you were big timing us.
Yeah,
Apparently not.
Yeah, we're in a triangle of a group chat, and I got some of them, but not all of them, apparently. Interesting. A couple people wondering, here's a text from Chris. How would diehard Nebrasketball fan feel if Omaha wins a game before them?
They will say first 4 games don't count. Even though they do.
Brian says, would Nebraska basketball fan really pull for Omaha to win a tournament game? How awesome would it be if they won one before the Skurs?
Well, if they're playing one, they'll play one before Nebraska. This year.
They don't have to be in the play-in round. I
guess that's true.
And from the 402. So since
402.
Well, here's a good one. So since UNO has some new fans and support, I have a question. Where can us new fans wanting to show support get the best Mavs gear? Like a kick-ass sweatshirt. Hey, Lawler's probably got you covered.
Oh, yeah. They got kick-ass sweatshirts.
They got kick-ass sweatshirts. There's the internet. I don't know. I did try to get my hands on an official UNO baseball hat last year, and I had to work some back channels to get that one. I need to rock that more often.
You worked the hockey game last year and got one, right?
No, they gave me a quarter zip or something.
Oh, okay.
A button something.
Okay.
That
was a year ago yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And no, I looked all over town for a UNO like baseball hat, like an Adidas UNO baseball hat, and the only ones they had was like the trucker hats.
Oh.
So I had to work some connections. I was like, I need one of these hats. Can I get one? And what do you know? I got one. So I don't know if that's available to everybody, but they should make them available in stores. Look at UNO. Alert to UNO. You get fans all over the place. They want to wear that Maverick on their chest.
That's right. This one bracket has them 15. As a 15.
Yeah, there's one bracket on the bracket matrix that has the Mavs as a 15 seed. I saw that recently.
This one's got as a 14?
How many of the bracket? That seems hard. How many of the brackets have UNO as the Summit League invite?
62.
62 out of 104, I think there are. Or 103.
87.
87? Oh, maybe they're just in the process of updating it right now. DG writes in, DG's a big Mavs guy.
DG.
As an OG Omaha fan, the campus bookstore is a place to go. There you go.
Okay.
You can visit 60 whatever in Dodge.
It's right there.
It's right there.
They'll let you in.
Indeed. Stibbs says the internet is a place where you can end up on that one.
It's very popular.
All right, so here's a reply from Nebrasketball fan Alex and Lincoln. Worst nightmare. Now, Now, hold on. Let's parse through these feelings just real quick before we get to Dannon.
Okay.
So, is it worst nightmare only from the perspective of like you just get made fun of by Creighton fans? Because that's where it would be the worst. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Like, you think it's already bad when Creighton fans come at Nebrasketball fan and they say, hey, how many NCAA tournament wins do you have, by the way, ever? And they're like, But then they're always like, well, how was that Elite Eight? We're like, good. The Creighton fan,
it was great.
Creighton fans like it was awesome, except for the part where there was a foul and it wasn't. But that's a different thing. So I guess just from that perspective, it would be bad. But don't you kind of want to root for them? You know, maybe not to get that first NCAA tournament win before Nebraska gets that first NCAA tournament.
I mean, gosh, if they went 1-for-1, I mean, you're going to see that Woods Legally Blonde gif. What, like it's hard a whole bunch.
There are other years where this is possible. I mean, Nebraska might not win an NCAA tournament game for another decade.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know when that streak is going to end. I definitely cannot predict whether they're going to win one this year anymore. Although they are more likely than in most years, because most years they don't make the NCAA tournament, and I think this year they will.
Okay,
So there you go. And then there's the whole subtopic of, well, what happens if it's a first 4 game?
We established a long time ago that it counts.
Chris writes in on the inbox.
Hi, Chris.
I think Chris is a Creighton fan. I would absolutely full on deep belly laugh if the Mavs win a tournament game before the Huskers, and everyone should demand the Huskers men's basketball program just be eliminated. I would eliminate it right now just so we can use that money to buy better football players, but that's just me. I think Chris.
What a funny scenario.
There are okay, so there are Creighton fans, there are like Nebrasketball fans, there are neutral, like I just kind of root for everybody, that type of thing. And then there are like Husker fans who absolutely detest basketball, like to their core.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, this has not been a moneymaker for us. This is of no advantage to our university. Why don't we just fold that up and then just have a better football team? There are those kind of people as well. I always enjoy hearing from those kind of people because they're insane.
It's a wild line to walk.
Basketball doesn't exist, and it shouldn't. We should turn that into better football players. Funny. Always funny to me.
Could work.
I think your best course of action would be to just have a better basketball team.
That's probably the quickest route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personally. That's just me. All right. So I can't tell anymore if people are mad about the Tennessee thing or not.
Well, I think they're furious, Connor. I thought on Friday that they were running white hot.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I heard from more people who were defending Nebraska's position. I'm talking about Nebraska fans.
Mm-hmm.
Defending Nebraska's position of, hey, we have to make up this revenue and all that, which I don't know how you can't just see right through that, but people definitely are like, see, I told you, this is how it works. We need that extra home game for revenue, and this is the best and easiest way to do that.
They're broke.
I think it's completely short-sighted, but I know I saw a lot of people that were out there and they were just like, I don't get the big deal with this. Like, of course we want to do this. We want to make the college football playoff, get ourselves an easier game, and we want to make up some money from the university. We can't go to Tennessee in 2027. We need money. That's what I heard people saying on Friday. So I don't know if people were mad. I'm talking about mad that they canceled the game.
Mm-hmm.
Mad that they got rid of the series.
There's a lot of people screaming cowardice or I was going to take my family. Oh, won't you think of the children? You've ruined my vacation.
Would have been fun.
It would have been fun, yes.
Like I said on Friday, those are the type of games that invigorate a fan base. Mm-hmm. And I think that has long-lasting benefits for your university rather than the short-sightedness of saying, oh, we'd like to cancel this game and have one, a better opportunity to go to the college football playoff, which is clearly what the reasoning was. Mm-hmm. Clearly. Nebraska could take the hit from a financial standpoint, even though they have all this money that they have to invest and they have to build $1 billion stadium now. Like it's okay. They can find other streams of revenue, as they will continue to do. And they're going to make you pay more money for your season football tickets.
That's right.
And stuff like that. So Tom Chattel I saw Tom Chattel yesterday. Tom Chattel is great. He always comes up to me and says, you're a man about town. But what happens when you're a man about town and there's 2 events going on at the exact same time?
You have to pick one.
I have to pick. And it's situational.
You made the correct decision, I believe.
You do?
Yeah, it's senior day.
Okay, thank you for saying that, first of all, because I needed validation on that because Nebraska got destroyed yesterday at home. And
it was senior day. It didn't matter.
Yes, I felt like I felt obligated to be there, and I had told Creighton many, many months ago that this would be the case.
Respect to Ed Cooley, but sorry, it's Georgetown versus senior day.
I had already missed 2 Nebraska women's basketball games this year due to Creighton-related items.
Yeah.
And so I just didn't want to.
You do try and be very balanced in your.
I like my relationships, Josh. I like my relationships. And I was told that my dear friend Lance Robbie did a fantastic job yesterday and enjoyed it greatly. And it sounded like everybody had a good time, including Ryan Kalkbrenner.
I did not receive a text from anybody saying, "Who is this guy? He sucks."
That's when you know, because that is a situation that is ripe for, whoa, what's going on here? Did people see anything different? And they're like, I hate it.
It's different.
I don't know what this is. I don't like it, though. Anyway, so that's how that went yesterday. So Tom Chattel, on top of running into me at the women's basketball game yesterday, also ran into Troy Dannon.
Were you two in the same place? Were you having a slice of vowels together in the media room?
I bumped into Troy Dannon and Matt Rule, who Matt Rule was in an interesting position. He was at a 12-year-old's birthday party.
Oh,
he was the father of the 12-year-old's birthday party.
Oh.
Yeah.
I had a birthday party for my kid this weekend.
He had to make some appearances, and be Matt Rule, but he also had to be dad and have.
I'll bet those two people are different.
They had a large birthday party, Josh, full of 12-year-old girls.
Okay.
Yeah. So hope Matt Rule enjoyed his time yesterday.
Was Stomp Trump Roar Dino Ranger Anthony there?
No, I think they went and made cupcakes.
That's a route you can go as well.
They went and made cupcakes, and then they went to the women's basketball game. And then Matt Rule had to take a break from being dad, and he had to be Matt Rule for a little bit. And so one of those things, Tom Chattel ran into Troy Dannon. He says, spoke with Troy Dannon at halftime of the Nebraska women's game. Said he's received minimal fan reaction to the Tennessee move. He's received 5 emails, 4 of which have been positive. Thank you, Mr. Yogurt, for canceling the Tennessee game.
I got a meter inside my head, and the needle just broke off.
Something going off there. Yep. Also, Chattel tweets, he said he spoke with several members of the college football playoff committee, and they all told him that the Tennessee game would not help Nebraska, and it could only hurt. Why do the college football playoff committee members all think Nebraska's going to lose to Tennessee?
Yeah, what if they beat Tennessee?
Would it help? It would be of no help if Nebraska beat Tennessee in either of those 2 games in 2026 and 2027.
Remember when Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois, and we all said to each other,
that hurt a little bit, didn't it?
Well, they beat Texas A&M.
Yeah. Turns out losses are bad and wins are good.
Yeah.
Right? And yes, there is less of an impact nowadays on who you're playing and all of these things. In fact, as we move toward this, whatever the hell we're doing with the college football playoff, all of the non-conference games entirely might be completely irrelevant, because if you're in the Big Ten and the SEC, all you have to do is finish top 4 in your conference and you're in the stupid playoff. You could lose to Miami, Ohio 4 times if you want to, and you could still make the college football playoff. Or maybe more helpfully, you could lose to Tennessee 4 times and still make the college football 3 times, 4 times, whatever. If you're in the SEC 4, you can still make the college football playoff, even if you don't have a good non-con.
Anyway. Some people have some thoughts on this.
Yes.
Omaha says Tom's Kool-Aid.
Omaha says Tom's Kool-Aid.
That's right.
Like Dr. Tom?
No, Tom Chattel.
Oh, Tom
serving
Chattel.
Up Kool-Aid.
Oh, that's not. I mean, hey, Dannon said it.
Tom reported what he was told.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Matthew.
I report, you decide.
Matthew. Did Chattel tell him to check his spam folder?
That would have been a hilarious follow-up. I'm sure there was more to the conversation than just that, but I would have definitely included in the tweet. I then asked athletic director Dannon, did you check your spam? And at which point he said, great point. No, I didn't check my spam.
Stibbs.
How many lists do you think that guy's on?
Yeah. Stibbs, I want to read that one negative email.
Yeah, please publish the emails. Where are the emails?
His emails, am I right, people?
The emails. MK says that's an advanced spam filter that Troy's got there.
It's got to be. Very powerful.
So he heard...
It might not even be a spam filter. It might just be his assistant.
He heard from 5 people. Maybe it was one person emailing 5 times. I don't know. But he got 5 emails.
It was a big, strong man with tears in his eyes.
He got 5 emails on the subject, the nationally relevant subject of Nebraska backing out of their game with Tennessee for 2026 and 2027. He got 5 emails from the world, and 4 of them were positive. 4 of them said, "Thank you, Mr. Dannon. I appreciate you canceling this game.
Your courage is astounding."
Your courage is astounding. I love what you're doing. Go Big Red. One of them, now we can imagine what that one said. I don't know, but we can make up some guesses. This is so weird. This subject is officially very weird. I guess you would say that my position is that I'm in the mad category, but I'm also not the kind of dude who would ever write an email to the athletic directors just expressing my frustrations. So the narrative nationally is that Nebraska found a cop-out to make their schedule easier. There's a financial aspect to this, which of course Nebraska has been touting. And then there's the scheduling part of this as well, which was mentioned there in the Chattel tweet. That makes sense to me. It really does. You know, I understand all of those things. I don't know how applicable the excuses are, but I understand all those things. But I can't understand why people don't have, like, we think of things way too transactionally these days now. We lack a view of the big picture to an extent that I have never seen before, because I thought I had a pretty good grasp on the state when I say, I don't think people around here like being perceived as people who back down from a challenge. And yet the national narrative, everyone's pointing at Nebraska and saying, you back down from a challenge. I see right through the very translucent excuse of getting out of this game from a financial perspective, or trying to get out of this because of a financial perspective. And I always thought that people around here didn't like to be perceived as people who like to back down from challenges. And I haven't seen the white hot rage that maybe Josh is referring to here. And apparently nobody that entered Troy Dannon's email, Equitable Bank inbox felt that either. And so I guess we just move on. We accept the excuses. We accept the reasons why. And if you want to paint us out as being cowards for a couple days, then great. We'll get over it. We'll take our win against Miami of Ohio and our extra $8 million in revenue that we get from a home game. Cool. I just thought it was more important to people than that. I just thought it meant more than that. That's all.
Now, let me speak out of both sides of my mouth here. Could it be possible that on a day-to-day basis, we hear people in positions of power lie to us that we just don't really care anymore, and we're just like, yeah, whatever. Oh, it's for the money? Okay, whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe. You're just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I guess I accept that. But once again, the whole thing is, you know, once you get past that, everyone's like, hey, Nebraska's getting out of this game. When you get really down to it, Nebraska's getting out of this game because they don't want to play as an opponent as tough as Tennessee would project to be.
That's right.
That's what Nebraska's doing. And I always thought that people here want to do things a certain way. They want to take the hard road. They don't want to be perceived as teams that back down from a challenge. And yet all I see from people is an acceptance of, yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, you want to go to the college football playoff. I think we're too college football playoff pilled, to borrow a phrase from our dear friend Nick Grimm.
I like that.
I think we have too much college football playoff brain. And don't get me wrong, Nebraska absolutely should be dead set and focused on making the college football playoff. They should be. But I also, I think if you're saying, hey, we need to get rid of this game because we want to make the college football playoff, doesn't provide enough context to the situation and what that game does for your school, for a football program, for your university, and then what getting out of it does for your school, your football program, and your university. All right, you're willing to take the PR hit, but also like I just view it in a more, if we're talking about future scheduled games. And keep in mind, Nebraska is not backing out of a game with Oklahoma State that they have on the books. They're not backing out of games with Cincinnati and Arizona and Oklahoma that they have on the books. And so maybe this is an issue that is closely tied to Matt Rule, and it's closely tied to, frankly, Dylan Raiola. Dylan Raiola's junior year is 2026. Dylan Raiola's senior year is 2027. Right? Like, maybe you want to be positioned in the best way possible for that, for senior Dylan Raiola to make the college football playoff, and you felt like you couldn't, but what a showcase that would be for Nebraska athletics. What a showcase. And by the way, Nebraska would be making an appearance likely on the ESPN family of networks in 2027 with a 5-star senior quarterback who's been through the ringer, and he's thrown 100 touchdowns in his collegiate career, and he's gunning for All-American and the Heisman during his senior season. You don't want to put that on a network that you're not normally on? I don't know. I feel like it's short-sighted, but that's just me. Alex and Lincoln says, what about the wind tunnel during those years? Well, you're going to play an extra game with the wind tunnel now, right?
Oh.
I mean, if you're getting an 8th game, I don't know. I don't know what the construction project looks like at this point, but it's going to go on a while. From the 202.
Hi, 202.
I feel like I've heard maybe 1 or 2 people out of the 10 be okay with ducking Tennessee, and one of them is you, Connor.
Whoa.
Wait a minute. What? I don't know what the message boards are. I don't know what message boards or Twitter accounts that you follow. Wait a minute. I am not okay with this. I am not okay with this, for the record. I am mad.
Okay.
I am mad. I can't do
Put it on the internet that he's mad.
You would put me in the, if you had a pie chart, you would put me in the mad slice. Right? If you wanted to label me, put me in a category. But maybe I'm following the wrong people, because I haven't seen that many people. I haven't seen that many Husker fans that are super fired up about this. Albino Tornado writes in.
Hi, Albino Tornado.
If we were willing to move the games so they could have the Skull Bowl, that's funny, in Bristol with West Virginia, they're not willing to accommodate a similar change. Well, bleep those big peach hillbillies.
Peach?
I don't know.
Tennessee known for its peaches?
Orange. They're orange.
They are orange.
They yeah. Stuff like that.
Is orange peach? Poll question?
I'm not going to advocate for that.
Okay.
It's not like a yellow is brown situation.
Okay.
It's not like a 39 is 40 or 29 is 30 situation. I don't mind that. Like, I don't mind that as a fire back, like to take Nebraska's side. Like, hey, we wanted to move the game. Why can't you accommodate us? We accommodated you for putting the game in Bristol.
Probably because they feel the same way, right? They would like to make the college football playoff.
Probably, but now they can show everybody that Nebraska canceled the series.
We stared them down and they blinked.
Yeah, but Nebraska ultimately had to be the one to pull the plug. So they get to win the PR battle in that case. Alex and Lincoln says, don't put it on the internet that Happer is okay with ducking Tennessee. No, do not put that on the internet, because I'm not okay.
Right.
Put it on the internet that I am not okay with ducking Tennessee.
Furious.
From the 308, it'd be quite ironic after all this posturing they did. They made a playoff run and got to play Tennessee anyway.
It's absolutely the way it's going to play out. 100%.
It'd be so funny. Or Nebraska ends up losing to Miami of Ohio and Rule gets fired or something like that.
One of the two.
Yeah. It's
that's either going to be
rarely in the in-between here, isn't it?
It's going to be the college football playoff, or it's going to be the straw that broke the camel's back.
Mitchell says on Twitter, to be honest, this series has been pushed back so many times I forgot it was even on the schedule. But it's not the game. It's what it means, right? It's not the game in particular. Like, oh, I forgot we were playing Tennessee in 2026. Like, nobody cares about future schedules that way.
Yeah,
but
it's the lone non-con.
It's getting out of it.
Yeah, it's what does Josh always advocate for on Unsportsmanlike Conduct? Like, I want to see cool games.
I like cool games.
Yeah.
I like when my team doesn't back down from challenges.
Yeah.
I don't like it when they're cowards.
Cowards. Wow.
There's some cowardice here.
Normally, I'm the first person to accuse someone of that.
I don't use the word a lot, Josh. I don't throw it around all willy-nilly like you do. All right, we got some comments from you all that we'll get to after a little while here, but we got to take a break and have a chat with our good friend Mike Schaefer. I wonder if he has thoughts on this. We'll find out next on 1620 The Zone.
Come the Guardians.
Yeah, I have statistics to back up that we have people that listen.
Mike Schaefer.
Anytime there's sort of a debate as to who can do something, Happer would always put his name forth. For sure.
Husker 24/7 on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
I could be a star.
All right, we're joined now on the hotline here by our good friend Mike Schaefer of Husker 247. Hello, Mike Schaefer. How are you?
I am doing quite well, Connor Happer. How was your weekend?
Good. I almost called you Michael, and I don't know. Maybe I thought I was talking to your cohort there at Brunt's, but so sorry. I almost did that. I didn't do it though.
That's all right. It happens about a dozen times a year. Usually when I'm just talking to my mom. That's about the only time the Michael comes out. But that's fine. If you wanted to go that route, I would have answered to it.
It would have been a mistake. I don't think I've ever done that before. You've either been Mike or Schaefer. How was your weekend? Did you enjoy your Nebrasketball this weekend?
Yeah, it was nice. I went to UNO versus South Dakota.
Oh yeah, that's right. Why were you right behind the wrestlers?
I don't know. The tickets were available. Shelby and I, we were getting to one game, and we were like, let's just sit on the floor seats at Baxter Arena. And so we bought them, and we just happened to sit right behind the Outrunners, I think is their name. So the highlight of which was they had went and got food during one of the media timeouts and came back, and Truth Magnum, I think is one of the names.
Okay.
For sure. Truth Magnum sits down, and he's got a couple of things in his hands of food, and he sets the nachos down. And unfortunately for him, as he set the nachos down, they spilled all over the floor. So he didn't get to fully enjoy his nachos. He seemed kind of bummed by that. But I will say, for two people that were brought in as a promotional thing, they seemed to be into the game. They were excited about, UNO winning. Obviously, I think when it was a 26-point game, they weren't really concerned about it. But then it got down to a 4-point game, and they were into it. I appreciated that.
I did not know that Truth Magnum spilled his nachos. I did. That's a tough look.
Inside info that arrives from Mike Schaefer with Husker 24/7.
Wow, look at that! You're on the scene, man. I saw the picture. I was like, "What is going on here? Why is Schaefer sitting directly next to these people?"
I'm getting texts from people that were like, "Why are you part of the wrestling entourage?" And I was like, "I wasn't. I bought seats, and they just happened to be right behind them."
You bought seats, specifically those seats, for that game. Like you don't go to UNO basketball games that often, do you?
That's why we were like, let's just go sit on the floor. It sounds great. And it was, and the amazing thing is I've watched a bunch of Summit basketball, so the league is not new to me, or the quality of the league is not new to me. But sitting that close to basketball,
oh, it's beautiful.
Like, even the Summit level, watching JJ White and Sutton and UNO's players, like it's just incredible because an even higher version of college basketball, how little space there is for those people to operate and to be able to get their shot off and to move. And I love it. Like if you ever get the opportunity to sit courtside, and seats are available at UNO, and they play a game on Saturday to potentially win outright the league. Do it. It's just a really, really cool experience, and it certainly was not cost prohibitive.
Okay, check is in the mail. They're from about 60th and Dodge, as we talked about earlier. Schaefer, good job. And if you ever get the chance to sit directly behind professional wrestlers, you should probably take that opportunity too.
I didn't engage them in any conversation other than I joked about the spilled nachos. That was about it. That was the entirety of the conversation.
You joked about what?
When he spilled the nachos.
Oh, okay. So you
had visibly reacted, and I was like, "Oh yeah, man, that's a bummer." He's like, "Yeah, I was most excited about those." That was like the exchange.
Your conversation with Truth Magnum was, "Oh man, bummer about those spilled nachos." Am I right?
What else was I going to add? We've had very, very different lives. We're about the same age. He looks like he's 15 years older than me. He's a professional wrestler. I'm a professional message board daycare operator, if you would. We have entirely different. There's nothing for us to talk about. We took very divergent paths to getting to the floor seats at Omaha for UNO versus South Dakota. I could probably name multiple players on the court, and he probably couldn't, even with jersey numbers and names. So, there was no reason for me to bother him.
Yeah,
and, we shared a moment over spilled nachos, and we'll have that forever.
They bring spilled nachos. They bring everybody together, and I'm glad they did the other night as well. Schaefer, where have you landed on the on the whole Nebraska, Tennessee, are they ducking them? Is it money? Well, like where have you landed here after 72 hours of digesting everything?
You've known me for a while. You've done radio with me. You've talked with me about sports topics. I'm going to allow you to guess where Mike Schaefer has landed on Nebraska, Tennessee scheduling snafu.
I'm going to guess that you have remained above the fray, even though you watched the message boards and see all of the topics and all of the conversation, that you haven't moved off of the idea that you initially had, which was, yeah, I guess I get it. This is college football in 2025, and Nebraska is just taking part of it now.
That's almost verbatim where it's at. I mean, the strongest opinion I have on this is it felt like Nebraska did a poor job of controlling the narrative. That would be my biggest take. Is that had they done a better job coming out with this, with the news and not allowing Danny White to kind of paint Nebraska in a specific way, it could have looked better or operated better when the news finally arrived. But as for the actual news, the series that I never thought was going to be played after it got rescheduled once and where the future of college football was headed, it was a shrug for me. Like, I can't get myself to get worked up about it. I don't think it means terrible things for the future of college football or for the future of Nebraska or for the future of college football scheduling and Nebraska scheduling. I can't get there with it. They canceled the series. They clearly are prioritizing playing someone that isn't Tennessee. I understand that they play 9 conference games as it is. I accept it. I'm fine with it. And my life moves on from it. Like, the part of it that I found disingenuous is the idea that it's that closely related to income that you need from an 8th home game and whatever else. I mean, I just don't just come out and say that it doesn't fit with the schedule that you desire for the 2026 and 2027 season, while acknowledging that Nebraska plays 9 conference games and they already have enough of a challenge and you'd like to have one more home game. Just say it like that. Don't try to spin it that you need the economics because of the stadium or whatever else. Like, nobody really cares that much. It just comes across as hollow. And I don't think they needed to. Tennessee plays 8 conference games. You play 9. Leave it at that. Like, that would have been enough for me. The rest of it, like I said, I am completely nonplussed as it comes down to what this means for future of big helmet matchups outside of conference play.
So which garnered more of a reaction from you, the news of this or the spilled nachos at the UNO game?
I probably reacted more visibly to the spilled nachos. It's one of those where you do the body English where you're like, oh, your hands go up with it.
Yeah. But you're trying not to make that big of a deal out of it because, people are watching.
He feels terrible, and they're probably not going to take him back up to the spot to get the free food again.
Yeah.
And nobody offered to go get him nachos. Not throwing anybody under the bus here, but there was nobody that was like, hey, man, you spilled your nachos. You're here for us. We'll go get you another. That never happened.
Wow. Disappointing. Okay. So back to the Tennessee thing. As a college football fan, remember, Nebraska is not the first school to do this. And these two teams aren't the first schools to erase future dates off of their non-conference schedules. It's a trend, as you've said. But like, as a college football fan, how do you feel about these games going away? Like, as a person who enjoys college football and watching these types of programs going up against each other?
If there's anything I feel certain about, it's that the shape of college football and the scope of college football and even out of conference scheduling could be radically different by the time we get to 2027. This sport seemingly undergoes a different shift of what its future looks like every other month. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
So it's hard. That's a big part of it. Like, my reaction was very different when Nebraska didn't want to play Oklahoma, because that came out in May with just a few months before the game was going to happen. These games are well over a year out from on the schedule, or multiple years out from on the schedule. We don't know what the sport is going to look like. We don't know how many teams are going to be in the playoffs. We don't know how many conferences are going to exist. There's so much that changes seemingly every other month in college football and the rules and how it's governed and who's going to be eligible to play, it's really hard to, I think, write an opinion piece or to hold an opinion that we know anything about what out-of-conference play is going to look like in 26 and 27. We barely know what's ahead in store for us for 2025. So I just think as the sport continues to evolve, we should just be as nimble as possible because things are going to look very different. I mean, these two teams could end up playing in a conference together if there's a super conference someday. So it's hard for me to overreact to it because I just think there's so many unknowns where college football is going. Would I prefer that there are no games against FCS teams or that teams like Nebraska schedule as strongly as possible? Sure. Like from a viewing standpoint, that would be great. But for what Nebraska needs, I see no problem with them playing two teams from the MAC and an FCS school. You know why? Because I watched Michigan do it in 23 and win a title. I watched Ohio State do it this past year without much of a schedule. I don't think there's a reason to get that upset with it. Kansas State did this for 2 decades. Nebraska just has to stack wins. It's where they are as a program. I understand it from their standpoint. And I think I just don't think there's as much vitriol as maybe gets displayed. I think the people that are really unhappy with it are the loudest. But most people, not to parrot what Tom Chattel wrote from talking with Troy Dana, I just don't think there's that much anger about this. I think it's sort of discussed in a sense of it's a bummer that good teams don't play good teams as much anymore. I think that's sort of where it's at.
I agree. I sort of sense the same thing because people are. I mean, there's also the natural inclination of like taking the side of the school that you root for too, and there's that piece of it,
and that absolutely has to be mentioned as part of the conversation. But it's also, if Nebraska doesn't have a marquee out of conference matchup and things stay similar, it'd be the first time in however long. I mean, this year they kind of have a weird one with Cincinnati, that's a Big 12 school, but they played Oklahoma, Colorado, UCLA, Miami, Washington, all of these programs in the last decade. Like it's not like Nebraska can be accused of doing this consistently. So if it happens one time in a series that's already been rescheduled previous from its initial iteration, I don't think there's a reason to get too bent out of shape on it.
Shafe, what do you think about tonight at Pinnacle Bank Arena?
I am an idiot, and so I think it sets up well for Nebraska. Michigan coming off of the Michigan State game, short rest, coming on the road. Nebraska has been off since Wednesday. They know that this is a critical game. It means a lot more for Nebraska than it does for Michigan. I'm guessing you have noticed this. Michigan's last 7 wins in conference play have come by 4 points or less. So I would expect this to be a close game. I would expect Pinnacle Bank Arena to be rocking. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think Nebraska is going to get a marquee victory tonight, which would be yet another win over a top 25 team. They will help solidify their resume, and it all sets up for what could be the stink bomb of all stink bombs on Saturday.
Yeah, there's always that. But hey, the signature win is the signature win. Now, is this happening without you sitting courtside next to wrestlers with nachos tonight? You're sitting up higher?
I don't know of any AEW wrestlers that are expected to be in the area. I will be in the arena. I will actually be sitting next to Jake Sorensen. I had an extra ticket, and I was like, who is the craziest person that I could annoy people with by bringing into my section? And he was the first person that came to mind.
Yeah, so you nailed it.
He's accompanying me to the game tonight, and apologies to everybody. And I don't know, what are we, 112, 111, somewhere over there.
Enjoy the 2 hours of him talking about Jack Caglione to you.
How many let's go do you think he will scream between the opening tip-off and the last moment of the game?
A lot. How many times do you think? Should we actually set an over/under, and maybe you could count, and I'll trust your judgment on this one.
I'm going to sneak in one of those because I think I have one in my baseball bag back when I either pitched or stood next to the coach and was more or less a team manager while on the roster.
The clicker?
I have one of those counters. I'll just sit there and just have it in my jacket, and I'll just hit it every time he says it.
I actually want to count fist bumps and or high fives.
What about and people who don't know Jake Sorensen, his go-to motion when he's excited is like a modified, not really raise the roof because he does it palms up. And he just is like telling everyone to get up while he sways his arms up and down.
Yep.
He'll do that at least 70 times.
Yeah, that seems not quantifiable.
I know putting a number on this is going to be really difficult.
Yeah. So if we did maybe just like contact fist bumps plus high fives, over the entire. Are you going for beers before the game? I assume.
I will be post game.
Okay.
Pre-game is hard now as a father.
Okay.
Post-game's hard as a father. Just getting 3 hours is difficult. But
yeah. So let's just say inside the arena, like at the game, 17 and a half fist bumps plus high fives.
Okay.
That's where we'll set it.
I will see if I can track this, and we'll let you know where things are at later this evening.
Okay. Bring your clicker. All right, Shafe. Good to talk as always.
All right. Be careful with those nachos out there, everyone.
All right. Mike Schaefer of Husker 247, who will be counting the fist bumps and high fives.
Poll question up at Happer Show. Did you know Truth Magnum spilled his nachos?
And then I see that you tagged Truth Magnum.
I want him to see it.
Truth Magnum.
I want him to know. We know.
Truth Magnum is that's a name. That's a name, Josh.
This may shock you, Connor. Not his Christian name.
Yeah, I figured. But still, that's even a really good fake name.
It is. It really is. And in his Twitter bio, one half of the Outrunners, and then it says yacht rock enthusiast. Somebody tell Jack Mitchell.
But also enthusiast.
Enthusiast.
He's one step away from aficionado, Josh.
Oh, that's right.
When we get to aficionado, we got problems. Mm-hmm. All right, we're back with the odd news coming up on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter at Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys?
On Wednesday, March 19, Omaha, Nebraska is where the best wrestle as All Elite Wrestling presents Dynamite and Collision. Two of professional wrestling's biggest shows all in one night. Be there live as AEW makes its Omaha debut and witness the greatest professional wrestlers in the world deliver an unforgettable experience. AEW Dynamite and Collision from Liberty First Credit Union Arena, Wednesday, March 19. Tickets on sale now starting at $20 at AEW.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
All right, Josh, it's time for the odd news. What are we cooking today?
It is. It begins with a story sent to us by Connor.
Happer?
Didn't leave a last name.
All right.
I do believe that to be true, though.
Eccesian?
No. He definitely would not like the show.
Oh, well, with all the mean things you say about Nebrasketball.
That's right. They could prove me wrong, but they often don't.
Schaefer's predicting that they will tonight.
Yeah, classic trap. Woj
for Michigan. Call an ambulance. Not for me.
Adrian Wojnarowski, the retired NBA insider, now managing St. Bonaventure University's men's basketball program,
Woj,
has partnered with upstart Daps Bounty to auction off some of his tools during his time at ESPN. I've seen
he gets his hands dirty.
Yeah.
You're talking wrenches?
No. Old iPhones mainly. A lot of credentials. I've seen his ESPN badge going for $250 right now.
Yeah, so he's auctioning off either old NBA like NBA Finals credentials, and several iPhones. Apparently, he's got some quotes in there, Josh. Maybe look at those, where he talked about the rate at which he burned through iPhones.
Oh.
And he was like, for whatever reason, I just wore down my iPhones really quick. So I always had a new iPhone. Basically, like, I don't know what the time frame he said, but he got a new iPhone a lot. And he always kept them. He didn't throw away the iPhones or trade in the iPhones.
Having purchased the newest iPhone most every year, he saved them in a drawer in his home office. He was advised by his reps not to throw them away when he no longer needed them. I would go through them pretty fast, Woj said. For whatever reason, they wore out pretty fast with me. I probably bought a new one more quickly than others did because I never wanted to be in a situation where there's some kind of malfunction.
So I saw one auction item that was on there, and it was like $500, bidding starts at $500 for iPhone that Woj used to tweet that the season was canceled in 2020, which is amazing.
Which, like, I assume it's been wiped and all that. Like,
they took all the information out there, but
yeah.
It's a historic phone. It's one of the most historic phones that we've ever seen.
Ooh, wow, most historic phones.
What is the most historic physical phone?
I would say,
like, what's the most famous phone call or text or tweet that's been sent?
Politics aside, like Obama had a secret BlackBerry when he first got to the White House that he kept getting in trouble. They're like, you cannot use this anymore, Mr. President.
Like a personal phone.
You are the president. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll get you. What's the most famous sports phone? What's the most famous sports phone call that's been made?
Why am I picturing one of those Zach Morris brick cell phones right now? I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, Woj would have to be up there because, I mean, he's on TV. Like,
that phone has been on TV a lot. They always kept the phones on the big desks.
Yeah, Scott. They're trading. LeBron's going to LA. Yeah. What? I'm sorry. What? I wasn't listening. I was texting.
Yeah.
You're on Sports Center.
As seen on TV. And you attach the picture of Woj texting on set. Give us some ideas on the most famous phone, the most famous physical phone.
Most famous physical phone.
Shefty's phone.
Douglas, you all normally deride Douglas and his takes, but this is actually a good one. Wasn't there a guy who made a call from the end zone after scoring a touchdown in the NFL? Wasn't
the Joe
Horn's phone?
No, he didn't. I don't think he actually placed that phone call, but the phone was used as a prop, so that counts. That's a famous phone.
Did T.O. do the same thing shortly after, or no? Or was he just Sharpies?
I think he pulled down his... No, that was Randy Moss.
That was Randy Moss in an act of pure disgust.
Absolute disgustingness. I couldn't think of a better word. Sorry. The phone call to T.O. where the Orange Bowl committee informs him they are rematching Oklahoma against Nebraska in the 1979 Orange Bowl.
Oh. Very specific.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, good one. Whoever took the picture of Laramie Tunsil ripping the gas mask before the NFL draft.
Yes.
Thank you, Black Cat.
That would be a good one.
This phone took the picture of Laramie Tunsil and it caused him to drop down 15 spots in the draft.
This phone cost a man millions of dollars.
It did. It cost him to play for the Miami Dolphins for many years.
That's right. My favorite paragraph, I'd like to read it aloud for everyone.
Yeah.
Quote, "This is another instance where I'm trying to impact our program and help raise revenue," said Woj, a 1989 St. Bonaventure graduate who took a 99% pay cut from his ESPN contract, reportedly worth more than $20 million, to take the GM position at his alma mater in October.
Okay. He took a 99% pay cut to basically he's making no money.
I was making $20 million and I chose to be here.
Now I'm making no money. But that's okay because I was making $20 million.
Because that little pissant Shams is making my life a living hell.
Yeah. Now that guy's phones are the best phones.
Staying with basketball. Oh,
we have some good phones.
You got more phone? You want to go through more phones?
See Magic's phone he called his dad with during the game. Good one. The kids that called the bullpen to get a guy warm and they were just sitting in their living room. Remember that when they hacked into the bullpen phone?
Yes.
They found out the number for the bullpen phone.
Mm-hmm.
Those are good phones. If we aren't talking just sports phones, Andy writes in, wouldn't you think that the most famous phone was the one that Alexander Graham Bell used to make the very first phone call?
Sure.
I think that one is probably accounted for.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I think we have that somewhere in a museum.
Mm-hmm.
Not available.
God, I would hope so.
Not available for auction. Okay. Sorry. Keep going.
No, you're fine. Alex Rodriguez. This guy. All he does is win.
Half-court shot
Did you see
maker.
him? Yeah. $10,000.
Hopefully and assuredly, the rules were explained to him
He was at
very clearly and very normally.
He was there to watch Army take on Bucknell Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
During halftime, he's invited to take a half-court shot. He bangs it home. The Bucknell crowd goes wild.
And won a kid $5,000, right?
10,000.
10 grand.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Great job by A-Rod.
So was it a situation like, hey, kid, do you want to take the half-court shot or do you want Alex Rodriguez to take it for you? Or like,
I feel like A-Rod was probably always going to shoot the shot. And then maybe they would have given him $10,000, but then he just said, I don't want your $10,000.
Yeah.
I'll give it to a kid.
I got $10,000 on my couch at home.
It's a win-win.
Yeah. And finally, we say people forget. You got a phone again?
Mustache Adam, Tiger's phone, circa 2008, 2009.
Oh, that would have some things on it. Yes. Okay.
Good one.
Good one.
I would auction. I'd bid a couple bucks on that phone.
I would get my name in the hat. Yes.
Yep.
We say people forget a lot. People do not forget that NBA legend Nikola Jokic was drafted during a Taco Bell quesarito commercial.
No, they do not, Josh. Thank you.
And finally, someone in the cowardly NBA media finally asked this man about it.
I find that hard to believe he hasn't been asked about it. Maybe he's being asked again.
He's being asked again. And in sitting down with the Nuggets social media team, not even a reporter, just the Nuggets social media team.
State-run media.
He talked about a wide range of subjects in his professional and personal life. He says he's never eaten at Taco Bell because of what happened. Now, he did not grow up eating Taco Bell like you and I.
Does he seem like a Taco Bell guy? Like, even though he's fat, I don't think he seems like a Taco Bell guy.
His brothers do.
I don't know. Like, if you're a Taco Bell guy, you kind of just... this is awfully stereotypical, just for the record.
I don't think it would be the most stereotypical thing said on the radio today.
No, there is an air of, like, if you love Taco Bell, there's like you have an air, an aura of like laziness.
Okay.
Right? So Jokic doesn't seem like that guy.
Okay.
He's fat. He's not lazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, got all those horses. Got to train them somehow.
Yeah, he's working hard.
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad they asked.
Yeah.
Glad we
Finally,
got it.
someone asked the tough questions.
Got him on the record. Alex and Lincoln says he definitely seems like a Taco Bell guy. I don't know.
Poll question?
Yeah. Does Nikola Jokic seem like a Taco Bell guy?
Okay.
And then you're just going to get a bunch of responses of the Quesarito picture, which is fine.
And him as a fat child.
Yep. Which is also great.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We are back after this noon hour coming up. Still want to hear from you guys. 402-951-1620. Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
He does it the only way he knows how. With his massive sports brain sprinkled with a smidgen of rabble-rousing. Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Noon hour of the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. I'm seeing some reports from the Associated Press poll, Josh. The AP poll.
The AP poll?
Yes.
That's not like a Connor Happer poll. It's worse.
I don't have a poll. So
we got poll questions on our Twitter page
poll
all the
questions. This is like a ranking.
Oh.
So the rankings are out. Auburn still number 1. Then you scroll down the list and you look for some familiar names.
Okay.
Creighton did not make the top 25.
That's right.
But they are number 26.
Oh.
If that counts. They should put a little number 26 by them.
Yeah, why not? This time of year, yeah.
Well, I think you're trying that. Gosh, that would be a great bit, actually. They should do that. Just put a little number next to their name, whatever ranking you're referring to. Maybe put your KenPom score on the bottom or something like that too. you're just trying to get out the word that you have a good team.
I mean, it's all BS anyway. Like, why does it have to stop at 25, right?
Great point, Josh. Creighton's number 32 on KenPom right now. Put a little 32 by there all the time. What are they in the net rankings? Net rankings come out today yet? The net rankings has Creighton at 35.
Oh no,
35. So the higher that number gets, the less you want to do it. Nebraska, by the way, 54 in the net. Their opponent tonight, the Michigan Wolverines, they are 21 in the net.
21.
Can you do something for me? Yes. Get another big win for Nebraska basketball. A signature win, if you will. They have their best chance for it tonight. We heard from our good friend Mike Schaefer a little bit earlier, and he said, I'm an idiot, but I'd like to say these things about Nebraska basketball. And I got to be honest with you, Josh, while I lack his confidence in saying what he said, I think Nebraska could potentially get them to fall into the trap tonight.
Oh,
really? I think Nebraska could get Michigan to fall into the trap tonight. I think it's going to be a good environment at PBA, a great environment potentially. I think you're probably going to have Berke back.
Oh, Berke back.
Yeah, I think Berke will be back.
Yeah, I'm thinking Berke's back.
I'm thinking I'm back. Berke. Yeah, so I think that'll happen. It certainly has been trending that way. And you get an extra day from not playing during the weekend. And the question is, how are they going to deal with those big guys? Vlad Golden. They got a guy named Vlad, Josh. And they got Danny. And his last name is Wolf. You see Vlad propose to his girlfriend.
Whoa.
After the game against Michigan State over the weekend. A game in which they lost.
Yeah.
He proposed.
Didn't have to bring that up.
She said yes. And so he's probably focused on other things. But I do think Nebraska will come out after. I mean, listen to these quotes. Fred Hoiberg, once again, you read about this team and you listen to what comes out of the coaches and the leaders' mouths. You're like, what's going on over there? Are they good? Are they? There's a potential that they're actually really bad. I mean, clearly the coach thinks that this group is capable of accomplishing something, right? Because he's holding them to a pretty high standard. But what he always says about this group is it's along the same lines. That we didn't have that fire. We need to have that fire. You can't come out and expect to win, and you don't have that kind of energy. And here's what he said on Saturday about his leadership, about his group's leadership. Quote, "We're a quiet group, man. We're a quiet group. And we've got to find a way to come out with our hair on fire, talking, foaming at the mouth, making an effort play early." And I don't know. I feel like Nebraska, when they play in these type of games, when they play teams that they're not supposed to beat, just when you feel like, we could kind of bury them. They had a foundation shaking loss last week against Penn State. That was really bad. They didn't even bother showing up. And that was after 25 minutes of not showing up against Northwestern. Just when you're ready to bury them, you go home, you get an extra day off, and up comes Michigan, who's sitting at or near the top of the Big Ten standings right now. And the what did I say? The Michigan ranking was the
12th?
15th.
Oh, new. Yeah, it's new today. I'm sorry.
The 15th ranked team in the country. And all that adds up for me to kind of be a perfect cocktail for them to actually play well tonight. I don't know. We're trying to predicting this team is very, very difficult.
Yes.
As we've come to understand. But what's the thing? Phone's ringing. What's the thing that we've always said, Josh? It's that the circumstances feel like they have to be right in order for this team to play well. I think they're kind of a bit of a front running group. This is an opportunity with a lot of eyes on you. This is probably one of the biggest games of the night in college basketball. It's a game that you need desperately. So sue me, but I do feel like Nebraska will play well tonight, and at the very least, it'll be close. And honestly, I kind of feel like they might win. That's just my vibe right now.
You are ready to get hurt again.
You got a vibe right now?
I'm done giving vibes on this team.
Okay, so you can't trust them, but you can't automatically assume that they're bad. That's the whole thing about not trusting them. The whole not trusting them thing comes from the idea that sometimes they're good.
In this season, they have historically performed pretty well in a spot like this.
Yep.
Illinois, UCLA, Creighton. Creighton wasn't at home, but
big game.
Big
shoes.
Yeah. Ooh, big shoes.
Nebraska, according to the FanDuel Sportsbook, is a 1.5 underdog at home tonight.
Sorry, Mike. Does anyone know off the top of their head or very quickly what Nebraska is against the spread this year? I don't know. I'm sorry.
That information is findable on the internet.
I shouldn't ask questions I don't know the answer to. I'm sorry, but
that answer is findable on the internet if you give me a couple minutes. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the circumstances are right for Nebraska to play well tonight.
This is a situation where they have.
Maybe this is the game where you hit a barrage, of threes. To that point, Sam writes in, they need Casey back. No one in this team has the fire to get a technical after throwing the ball at the stanchion. Remember when Casey did that last year?
I do.
Threw the ball right at the hoop. I went up to it the next day because the women's team was at home and there was still a little imprint on the basketball stanchion.
Wow.
Yeah.
History.
Nick writes in, the vibe is win or get boat raced. Doesn't seem like it will be a close loss. Well, I don't know. I mean, to Schaefer's point, Michigan, when they win, it's usually pretty close. I mean, this is not a team that is so supreme. Michigan. It's not a team that's so supremely talented where it's just like, oh, they're going to get overwhelmed. Nebraska has to dictate its circumstances, right? And in some games this year, they've just fallen flat. I don't expect this to be a night where you have the even potential to fall flat because of what the game means, who you're playing against, that little ranking by them, and the environment at PBA should be really, really good. I don't think I can't guarantee you that they're going to win, but losing in a blowout at home, that would be pretty detrimental to the team's psyche, in my opinion. And I don't think it's really on the table.
We said there was no way they would come out flat against Penn State as well, though.
I don't know if I said there was no way. I don't know if I said there was no way. I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't think the circumstances were right for them to fall flat, considering what had just happened.
Sure.
But the guarantees are pretty difficult to come by with this group.
Right. Joe Yo with my stats. Thank you.
Joe Yo.
15-12 Nebraska is against the spread.
Okay,
6-7 at home.
What did I tell you, Josh? Absolutely nothing.
I knew it would be something like that. I figured.
Oh, you thought they would be right around even?
500, yeah. Okay. Just because you can never know what they're going to do. Yeah,
up and down, snip, snap. To the phones on the hotline here. Let's take a phone call from our friend Nebrasketball Mike. Mike, it's been a while. Good to hear from you. What's up?
It has. Vegas has no idea what they're doing.
Why? You think they should be more of an underdog tonight or a favorite?
I think Nebraska needs a point guard. I think Fred Hoiberg has done this for 2 years. I think he can't find one.
Yeah, they don't really have one right now. Your best answer is Bryce Williams.
Get killed. I think we're going to get killed.
Why?
2 7-footers.
Yeah. You don't think they can swarm them with their energy and effort?
We need a dude to put up 30. We don't have that dude.
Bryce could put up 30.
Okay, but we don't have a point guard who can go get his own shot either.
Yeah, I think the point guard and the guy who could put up 30 and the guy who could get their own shot is all the same person. It's just Bryce Williams.
This team, Fred is smarter than this. Fred knows. Fred saw what a point guard can do. Ace Baldwin made this team look silly.
Mm-hmm.
And he had no business making this team look silly.
Yeah.
But he does that because he controls the ball and he can go get his own layup and go get his own shot. And we miss 10 layups a game where you look at him and go, why? Because you don't have a guy who can go get them the ball where they can use it.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they can go get their own shot, and they can't.
It's definitely a flawed team, but I think this group can be playing better, Mike, than, like the effort that you got at Penn State is not going to be the effort that you get tonight. I don't think.
Why is there always Penn State?
I don't
Why is that?
There's something about going there and there being nobody there.
We're going to be lucky to get to Dayton.
I don't know.
We're going to be lucky to get to Dayton.
Yeah, maybe that will be the storyline after tonight. If it goes the way that you think it's going to go, Mike, then that all of a sudden becomes kind of the focus a little bit.
I think it's at least 10, 12 points.
Why are you so down?
Because I've watched this team. Okay, that Penn State game was so big. After you come back against Northwestern and take that one away from losing, you come back and lay an egg?
Surprising.
Why?
It was surprising. I don't know.
Right? Fred is better with chemistry than this team right now. And he's struggled, and he's trying to put this together with Band-Aids and chewing gum, and it's really hard to watch.
Yeah. Hey, but they might still get, they've won what, 17, 18 games? They might go to the NCAA tournament. How happy would you be if they just made it to the NCAA tournament?
If UNO makes it and Nebraska doesn't, that's all you need to know.
Oh, man. Hey, Mike.
Sorry.
Mike, we have to get your thought. What if UNO wins a tournament game before Nebraska does?
If UNO wins a game before Nebraska does, I will take Gary's play-by-play job next season.
Okay. All right. That's all right. We'll put that up for put that up for the bet. Thanks, Mike. Good to hear from you. Good luck tonight. Try and enjoy yourself, okay?
We would need to trade for one of the 7-footers to have a chance.
Okay. See you later, Mike.
Nebraska famously beat a 7-footer this year on a ranked team.
That's true. That's true. Some people say that he's just tall.
Yeah. I could dunk on that guy. He's just tall.
I don't know. That's sobering from Nebrasketball Mike there. I was kind of drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit tonight, and he's like, nope, we suck.
That's your guy. I mean, that's your guy, Nebrasketball fan. Like, and he's with me. He sides with me.
But do you think they'll play like garbage tonight? Yes. Okay, so here's the deal. They are flawed. Everybody around them in the bubble region is flawed.
Sure.
Right? They have different things. Whether one team can't play defense, one team can't shoot the three, one team, whatever. Nebraska's flaw is also baked into their personnel, and that they lack a true point guard, and I think they found ways to get around that offensively. I know let's see. Their metrics tell you that their defense is better than their offense, which makes it so surprising to me. I mean, they're 58 offense or 44 defense on KenPom efficiency. Which makes it so surprising to me when their defense can, for stretches, either in a game or over a week or 2 weeks, can be non-existent. I mean, remember when we did the thing when they were on the 6-game losing streak? They had, bar none, the worst 3-point shooting defense in the country.
Yeah, that's right.
During that period of time. That's what can happen when your effort just isn't there. Like, they're flawed in the way that they play basketball, but for who they are, for what they're trying to accomplish based on their personnel this year, it's probably the right move. It's like they're flying around, and the only way that you could actually make that work for you is if you have the most energy and the most intensity on the floor. Like, you have to be locked in, closeouts hard, swarm big guys, all of those things. It looks sloppy. And yes, teams who have the poise and the patience to be able to make the extra pass and continue to feed bigs and have the ability to entry pass into the bigs. Like, those teams will probably beat you, but Nebraska's, based on their personnel, that's the dice that they're rolling out there on any given night. And I think, honestly, on paper, Michigan looks like the kind of team who might be willing to fall into that trap. They love turning the ball over. They love it. Michigan is like, here you go. Take the ball.
Take it. I don't want it.
339th in the country in turnover rate. They turn the ball over on 20% of their possessions.
I mean,
ouch.
It's a weird year for this conference. Michigan has lost at Minnesota. At Purdue isn't a bad loss, but we're looking at road losses here. Their last 3 have been by like 3 points each.
So
right?
let's just go down in league for them. In league, Michigan is 12-3. In their 12 wins, they've won by 3, 2, 9, 19, 16, 4 in overtime, 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, and 3.
Those were small numbers.
Yes, except for the one against UCLA when Mick Cronin was in an absolute straitjacket fighting himself in early January.
Yeah.
That was the 19.
So, I mean,
they're not going to bludgeon you on your home floor.
I don't
think.
I would also not think so. That's extra day off. They play well at home. I don't know. I don't think they're going to win by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think it will look like Northwestern and Penn State.
I kind of think Nebraska's going to win tonight.
Wow.
Yeah, I kind of think Nebraska's going to win tonight.
That'd be great for them.
I think they'll put it together and they'll get their signature win and they'll respond to all the crap that has been said and whatever. And then they'll probably, like Schaefer said, set themselves up for the worst possible thing, which is playing Minnesota at home on Saturday and losing that game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you have to think to yourself when you're a Nebraska basketball fan, what's a really good thing that we could potentially do that would be followed by a potentially horrible thing
that would completely negate the good thing.
Right. Exactly.
Congratulations. You beat number 15 UCLA.
I just think it makes the most sense to beat the 15th ranked team in the country and a team at the top of the Big Ten on your home floor tonight, only to lose to one of the worst teams in your conference on Saturday at home.
Because it was
it's all making sense to me.
It was a sleepy game.
It's all making sense to me. No, Saturday will not be sleepy either. Saturday will be a good crowd. But
I mean, a Saturday crowd's usually good.
We're just following the roller coaster.
But it's Minnesota.
Just following the roller coaster. Stibbs writes in.
Hi, Stibbs.
Connor thinks Michigan will be playing with a medicine ball tonight. Would be hard to make baskets if you were playing with a medicine ball.
It would be harder.
And the other team wasn't playing with a medicine ball. That'd be a lot different.
What do you do during
I don't know.
A turnover?
Dead ball timeout
Okay,
every single time. All right, we'll take your guys' thoughts on Nebrasketball, who I guess I'm on the record now. Wow. I think they're going to win.
That's embarrassing for you.
I have an opinion. I think Nebrasketball is going to win tonight. I don't know. Yeah, maybe Michigan's playing with a medicine ball. You'll have a pretty good idea in the first couple minutes as well, how they come out.
I think so.
All right, we're back after this on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. right, welcome back. More of the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Josh, when do we get a look at your new graphic that you've cooked up here?
I mean, I could throw it up there as soon as I save it, or...
Okay. You just got something working.
Yeah, I'm cooking.
Okay, good.
We'll get it up there for the people. If you missed the conversation with Mike Schaefer, you'll wanna be well versed on what happened to him Saturday night.
A couple thoughts from you all regarding Nebrasketball. John emails in.
Hi, John.
Remember John? He detests. He's one of those people that doesn't care about anything Nebrasketball related.
Oh, that's right.
No basketball. Basketball is a terrible sport. Just cancel it. I think I've characterized John well. He emails in on the Equitable Bank inbox. Much like Satterfield is a good offensive coordinator and Sims wouldn't keep turning the ball over, I'm going to put Connor's predicted win over Michigan in the same bag. They will lose by double digits. Wait. When did I say that Satterfield was good? I might have said that he was good.
I think in general he's saying that
Those were the Sims take immediately folded it on itself. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just playing the odds. I was playing the stats. He can't keep turning it over at the rate that he's turning it over. It can't happen.
You'd be surprised.
I was wrong. That I was just playing the odds, right? I was doing what the book told me to do in that scenario. It wasn't that I believed in Jeff Sims so completely. It was just that I was playing the book. You know?
Sure.
They wanted you to hit on a 16 against a face card. Like, I'll do it, even though I know there's, a 50-50 chance that I'm going to bust out on this thing. But it has to be done. It did keep happening. For the record, it did keep happening. Jimmy writes in on YouTube.
Hi, Jimmy.
Jades fans will say Nebraska will win because it's a win-win situation. No, that's not. Why can't you guys just listen to me? I just think they're going to win. Okay. I don't know. The whole thing is I'm trying to get a vibe on what they are and I believe that I've pinpointed that it's all connected to them being front runners and them it's a backhanded compliment. I think this is a front running group, right? I do not think that is particularly enjoyable about this team, and it causes us all great pain when trying to predict them. But the circumstances are right for this to be a really good environment and a really important game, and I think they'll answer the bell tonight, and maybe they'll lose on Saturday to Minnesota.
Trips in the YouTube chat.
Trips in the YouTube chat.
Almost an hour ago.
Oh, wow.
I placed US currency on Nebraska. They win and I win money. They lose and I get to laugh. It's a win-win.
That's not what I'm doing here. That's not what I'm doing. Or maybe my takes are my currency, so I don't know.
Ooh. Poll question? Are your takes your currency?
Poll question. Are your takes your currency? Yes. Please put that one up. Black Cat writes in, Michigan -1 locked in, back to fading Happer, I suppose. Or I go. I got one right once for Black Cat. Anyway, let's talk about Creighton.
People forget.
Let's talk about Creighton.
Creighton.
All right. Jerseys first. 0 to 10. Jerseys.
Ooh, 0 to 10.
Long pause.
I know. I'm sorry. It's radio. 7.
7 out of 10.
Uh-huh.
You didn't love them.
Yeah.
You were fine with them. They were acceptable.
They were fine. They were. I would say they were neat.
I would say that if you were creating a throwback or like a faux back, right? They never wore those jerseys.
Right.
They just made them in the retro style. Pretty well done.
Yes.
Right? Like they were clean. They didn't have a whole bunch of weird. The logo wasn't on the chest. Sorry.
Imagine walking out there and your logo's on your shoulder.
They were made by Nike, which is positive, or Nike was the brand there. That's great. But I liked him. And now I received some messages, and it was like, they need to put these in the rotation. And I'm like, wait, hang on. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. We don't need to do this all. Just because we saw something that we might have liked it doesn't mean we need to do it all the time. All right? Like maybe a once a year thing. Maybe a once a year thing. Or get some new Alumni Day jerseys for next year. I thought they were good. Creighton looked very presentable. And it was a one-off thing with the jerseys. I'm with you, Josh. 7 or 8 out of 10.
Very nice.
Good job.
Good.
You didn't make a mockery out of basketball.
Right.
With the uniform. That's a positive. Now, the basketball. Why do people keep trying to dunk on Ryan Kalkbrenner? Connor Happer investigates.
Seems like a bad idea.
Many people have proven over the years that it is a horrible idea. And people just keep trying it. There was a game last year when, DePaul had fired their head coach and they were doing their own thing. But I remember that game specifically because they made it their one and only sole goal to get him. Like, we're going to do this. And they just kept trying and they kept trying. And maybe one guy got him. But it was like a 1 for 10 situation. Lessen the impact of it. Micah Peavy, he tried 3 times. He failed all 3 times, even though my boy was hooping in the first half of that game against Creighton yesterday when got into some danger, got a little hairy there for a second. Creighton found a way. Jason Green played a really good game. And
Jason Green.
They got some good contributions from the other guys, including Fedor. Wasn't quite the Fedor game yet, but it was some more good stuff from Fedor. Kalkbrenner was good. Ashworth was fine. Ashworth was mostly good. A lot of volume for him. But kind of a ho-hum win over Georgetown for Creighton yesterday. But why do people keep trying to dunk on Ryan Kalkbrenner? Obviously, there's a high upside. So let's really dive into this. What do you gain by dunking on Ryan Kalkbrenner? What do you potentially gain if you successfully dunk on Ryan Kalkbrenner?
Could you mentally take them out of the game for a little bit? Like, oh my God. Like,
I don't think it's about the game.
I don't think you're going to rattle them. But
when you're trying to dunk on a guy, you're trying to make a fool out of him, right?
Sure.
So you could always say that you dunked on the 4-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year. He's going to be the Conference Player of the Year. I think he should be the Conference Player of the Year this year. All-American, winningest player, and whatever, if you want to do that type of thing. But he's like kind of the guy in the conference, right? I dunked on that guy. And by the way, he's 7 feet tall and he never fouls and he always blocks all the shots. That's your upside. The upside is very, very, very high, but ultimately results in a mere 2 points, but maximum 3. Maximum 3. So from that standpoint of what it does for you in the game, the upside is quite a bit lower. What is the downside in an embarrassment-related category? I got blocked by a 7-footer, but I kept trying to get blocked by the 7. I kept trying to do it, right? What is the downside from a game perspective? Well, not much. I mean, I just will get blocked by the 7-footer and I won't get 2 points instead of getting 2 points. So you see where the difference is sort of made up there. I feel like it's all emotional when they try to do these things. Or maybe he just lulls you in. He just sucks you into this idea that he's not going to challenge you or something. Like his demeanor leads you to believe that he doesn't have the guts to go up and challenge you.
It's because of how he looks.
You think so?
I think that's a large part of it. He isn't. He's not terribly muscular, right? He's not like Jokic, where like, oh, that's a big boy. I don't want to mess with that guy in the paint. Like we know he's good, right? We know he has all these accolades, and we've seen him block enough shots. But still, I look at him and go, I think I could take him.
So from a basketball perspective. I probably would have rather just done the thing that the Butler guy tried to do this year when he just ran away and ended up shooting it off the top of the moon. and missed everything completely.
Sure.
That's how many shots that guy affects. Like, we could say until we're blue in the face. It's not only the shots that he blocks, but it's the shots that he affects. And now it's also the shots that people will see this stuff and they'll see all the shots that he affects / he blocks. And they'll say, oh my God, like, I need to, it's going to be like, it's a low proposition for me to go in there and try and get a bucket on this guy. So I'm not even going to try. And then your offense changes and all these other things. He has an incredible impact on defense. The entire defense is built off of him and winning. And not enough people apparently realize this. And it just becomes a popular thing from around the Big East to just say, well, other people have more impacts. I saw the one guy today making a case for Ejiofor. Like, St. John's is a really good defense. It's not built on Zuby Ejiofor, okay?
Better not be.
Most valuable guy in the conference. It's Ryan Kalkbrenner, certainly. Anyway, elsewhere.
I mean, I probably would have continued shooting the lights out from 3 against Ryan Kalkbrenner.
Yeah, you could just try to just don't go near him.
Yeah. It was working quite well for Georgetown, and then and until it wasn't, and they went cold in the second half.
Bullet Point Bob writes in, he has a theory. Conan, I think players want to dunk on Kalkbrenner because of his consistent on-court behaviors and reputation as a whiny flopper who gets worked up pretty easily. I don't think that he is. Is he a flopper?
Are you thinking of Stephen Ashworth?
That I could see. I don't think Ryan Kalkbrenner is flopping. He had another situation where I thought he died again yesterday. I'm like, oh my God, can we just not have this happen? Please?
Just one game.
Yeah. He's actually hurt. He's very tall.
Yeah.
His limbs are very long.
He can break too.
So he does get fired up from time to time, though, and I always appreciate when he does. Anyway, for Creighton, they have now beaten everyone in the league at least once.
And they've been in the league how long?
Well, I'm just talking about this season.
Oh, this season.
Of course, they have long ago beaten everyone in the league at least once. So it looks like they're probably going to finish second or tied for second in the Big East, depending on how these last 4 games go. And according to Bad Takes Doug on YouTube, it's like, what the hell? Could the Big East have done Creighton any more favors by giving them this crap schedule to finish out the season?
It's a down year in the league, so why try?
It's kind of just how the schedule played out. Creighton's just an update here. Creighton's finishes since joining the Big East Conference. Second, tied for 9th. We don't talk about that one. 6th, tied for 3rd, tied for 3rd, tied for 3rd, tied for 1st, 2nd, 4th, 3rd, tied for 2nd, and now appears headed for either 2nd or tied for 2nd. They're on their way to their 8th NCAA tournament in 12 years. They've won a game in 4 consecutive NCAA tournaments, 3 out of the last 4 Sweet 16s, and a garbage call away from going to the bleeping Final Four. All right. Every time we talk about Creighton, we have to remember this. We're in the good old days. And there is only 2 more times where you'll get the opportunity to watch Ryan Kalkbrenner play in front of your eyes at CHI Health Center in a Creighton uniform.
Got to take advantage of them.
Yeah. You better be there. And you better not be like, oh, we're not winning by 40 against DePaul. No. Appreciate it. Appreciate the man. That's all.
So I'm not allowed to say that.
You could say whatever you want, but I would tend to look at the bright side these days, Josh.
Okay. If that's what you recommend.
Just
that's what
appreciate it before it's not here anymore.
Okay.
That's all.
What's that Office meme? I wish people would tell you were in the good times.
Oh, yeah.
While you were in the good times.
And listen to me right now. I'm telling you, you're in the good old days.
Okay.
You are in the good old days. Text from the 402.
Hi, 402.
A couple of responses from you all. The Big East is crap. Thoughts?
What does that matter?
Well, Is this? I don't know if this
the
person
Big
is
Ten
specifically
full of world beaters.
I don't know if this person is talking about this year in particular, or if they're talking about all of the time.
Is the Summit League good?
Yeah, maybe it's a pro Mavs anti Creighton guy. I'm not sure. Pedro writes in.
Hi, Pedro.
Hi, guys. Wait a minute. The man with the ultimate confidence would not take a chance of dunking on the best center of the Big East. Yeah, that guy. That guy's got some confidence. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, so I bounced this off of Matt T. Marinas. I said, Matt, if there's one person on planet Earth who would have this, it'd be you. So I'm asking you. Do you have a list of all the people that have tried and failed to dunk on Ryan Kalkbrenner? And he was like, no, but now I'm interested. And so if you see that piece coming up soon on White and Blue Review, just let me know. Please alert me, or we'll probably talk to Matt.
What a sicko thing to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
be
4
awesome.
years of games.
Yeah, but like he remembers stuff at a really high level.
Okay.
And his recall is incredible. So I think he'd be able to lead himself to the right places.
And well, I mean, whatever.
He accurately remembered that David Joplin got him hard last year on senior day. And once he said that, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that one. That was bad.
And whatever he says is I'm gonna take as the truth. Like, I'm not gonna go, well,
that's true.
Let me check.
But you want to make sure you get it right.
Sure.
Happer's meme guy writes in.
Hi, Happer's meme guy.
Future Shanghai Sharks legend Ryan Kalkbrenner.
Again, that doesn't matter.
Why do people always say that he's not going to do anything of note at the next level? Like you said, Josh, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Jeff writes in.
Hi, Jeff.
Jays fans and Chiefs fans handshake meme. Respect us. I'm talking specifically to Jays fans respecting themselves about Ryan Kalkbrenner. I'm not talking about other people respecting Ryan Kalkbrenner.
Because the Nebrasketball fans have never emailed this show and said, why won't you say we're good?
The Section 220 boys with Z.
Hi, Section 220 boys.
I think it's a person named Jake. You didn't keep your promise to come to Section 220. We will see you on Wednesday. Happy face.
Whoa.
Emoji. Well, I wasn't there, so it was impossible.
Well, okay.
I would not have made it to 220.
I can't have you promising public appearances and not fulfilling them. It's a bad look for us as a show.
Trust me. If I don't ever fulfill something, it's not because I didn't want to. It's because I forgot.
Man's got a lot of jobs.
It's because I forgot that I agreed to it. My apologies. All right, we're back after this on 1620 The Zone. What is up with the New York Yankees uprooting years and years of tradition to get with the modern time?
My tradition. Oh, they changed the game I love.
So Friday we brought you the story that they were going away with their policy regarding facial hair, that players on the Yankees, staff members on the Yankees are allowed to have well-kept beards. Well-kept beards. They've always been
help you if they're not well-kept.
They've all been allowed to mustache themselves over the years, but now they're allowed to add hair on their cheeks. So gone away with tradition is that. And then the Yankees debuted another tradition that they just tossed into the river over the weekend when they started playing a different Frank Sinatra song after they lost. That's right. Well, first of all, the first tradition was to play the Liza Minnelli version of New York, New York after they lose. Of course, they play the Frank Sinatra version after they win. So after they lose, it used to be the Liza Minnelli version. Then I think Liza Minnelli got really mad.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that was the bit. Like, she was like, why do you play my version when we lose?
Okay, sure.
Why do you play my version when we lose?
Probably more accurate. Yeah.
She was on Arrested Development. That's my only knowledge of the things that Liza Minnelli has done, to be honest with you.
All right.
And then she got mad, and then they just put on the Frank Sinatra version of New York, New York.
Because
when
what's
they
he
lost.
going to say?
Right. He is dead.
People forget.
Now we've gone away. Maybe Frank Sinatra got mad from the grave because we've changed it to another Frank Sinatra song. We've just changed the Frank Sinatra song, which is more applicable for a baseball team when they lose. That's life. That's what all the people say. That song now plays after the Yankees lose. What has happened to the Yankees that we loved? We definitely all loved them, Josh.
Yeah. No.
Are you okay? What are you doing over there?
Posting the podcast, trying to catch up. My apologies.
It's like you had no take on this.
These aren't your father's Yankees.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
That's an acceptable song though, right?
It's fine.
The lyrics fit.
I just like tradition.
Sure.
I just like tradition. I like sue me. I like playing good non-conference teams, and I like when stuff stays the same.
There is, it just astounds me. There is somebody calling into Michael K's show this afternoon.
Absolutely.
Going,
I can't believe they would do such a thing.
I'm genuinely angry about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
The combination of all the changes are not what I signed up for when I put on the pinstripes.
And that's why we love sports talk in New York, first of all. If you ever get the chance, if you're ever in the city, turn on the actual radio and listen to sports talk in New York City. It's fantastic. Anyway, elsewhere in baseball, once again, I'd like to present the facts. Jack Caglione. Fact.
What are the facts?
The facts are all he does is hit dongs.
All he does?
All he does is hit dongs. 115 miles an hour. Remember when he was in college in Florida? We've got to know him very close over the last 2 years. He just would hit balls into outer space. Nebraska got to know him in the regional last year at Stillwater.
Oh, yeah. He hit a Titanic one.
That one was awesome because it didn't go that high. It just went really far, and it was very low to the ground. Zoom. So he has arrived to the Royals, and people are wondering. Many people are wondering, Josh, will he make an appearance for somebody's beloved Kansas City Royals this year? But maybe more importantly, might he make an appearance at Warner Park as a member of the Omaha Storm Chasers at some point this year? I hope so.
Don't skip Omaha. I would like to see it.
Yeah, I would too. I continue to, why do they only have radio on this TV? I can't get to the games because they only have the radio calls of them.
Connor advocating against radio on the radio.
Yeah, I just wish that they would have, well, it's a TV. I know I'm on the radio right now, but I'm looking at a TV. Anyway. the Royals are really conservative with how they treat minor leaguers and top prospects in their organization and guys who are well thought of in the baseball community. And Jack Caglione he's already a top 100 prospect in baseball. So it is my current expectation that the Royals will be extremely conservative with this path to the major leagues whenever that may come, which might be good for some people here in Omaha. But be curious because he seems ready is probably strong, but he could, if you asked him to go up to the major leagues for a week and hit a couple home runs, he could probably come through for you. That'd be my guess as of this moment. So I can't wait to see how the Royals, sort of treat that this year.
Now you've been clamoring for them to get another bat inside the hallways of NRG Media.
Well, maybe they just made MJ Melendez change his stance and that whole thing worked. Who knows? Another bat, specifically another outfielder. But if all of a sudden MJ Melendez is fixed and he can hit again, then maybe your problem's solved. Who knows?
Probably held on to that stock a little too long.
And as Vinny Pasquantino put on a podcast last week, when you're left-handed, there's only so many things you could do on a baseball field.
I've heard this.
It's Jack Caglione, left-handed. What are you going to do? Put him out in right field? Maybe. I don't know. Probably has to be a little bit more advanced defensively in order to do that, considering he's only pitched and played first base, really, in his collegiate career. Colin writes in, Colin White Plains.
Hi, Colin White Plains.
You are wrong about Yankees. God bless America. The Yankees used to play the Kate Smith version of God Bless America. Troublesome facts came about Kate Smith in the press, and the Yankees changed the version that they played then. Well, I never said anything about God Bless America, but I do remember when they played the Kate Smith version of God Bless America. I didn't know they went away from that. Just quietly went away.
Oh, okay.
So they have done away with tradition before, it seems. Maybe that was the point from Colin. Aaron writes in, poll question, do we like dongs?
No, we won't be posting that.
Why not? Everybody knows that dongs are home runs.
Everyone, Connor.
Everyone knows that.
Everyone.
I say everyone. Stibbs writes in.
Hi, Stibbs.
Tweets at us, I'm literally watching the radio on TV right now. Is that a problem? No, it's not a problem.
No. You can get us in a number of places.
But I'm sure that Stibbs appreciates the ability to see us, something that I cannot do on MLB TV right now. I can only listen to it. And the television just so happens to be quiet because we are doing the aforementioned radio show.
Is there like a game cast?
No, it was just, you could listen on the Mets radio affiliate and you could listen on the St. Louis Cardinals.
But what's
affiliate.
The picture when you click that radio broadcast?
It's just logos.
Okay.
It's just logos.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like they showed you a picture of the diamond and like it kept track of who was on base.
I don't think so.
Okay,
I'll go to it real quick here. By the way, did you see what the Mets TV crew, the hubbub they got themselves into this weekend?
I don't know, probably snorting coke in the
they
clubhouse.
They
allegedly.
They don't do that
anymore.
They don't do that. See, look, it's just a picture of a stadium. There's no like game cast.
Okay.
They had a cut of a couple playing pickleball.
Okay.
Just during the game, it's like, hey, here's a pickleball court, and they were like, pickleball's all the rage, and then it was noticed that one of the people in the couple was exposing parts of her body.
Oh no!
Not like on, just like she's wearing a sports bra or something like that, and one of the broadcasters had a comment on that. And then the next day,
Keith Hernandez,
they took a live shot from the tennis court. They took a shot from the tennis court. And I believe it was Ron Darling or Keith Hernandez who said, I liked the pickleball better.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
And then there was a long silence, and I believe Gary Cohen was like, I wonder why.
She is distracted.
That's a good broadcast crew. That's a good broadcast crew. All right, we'll be back. Sam McEwen will join us on the other side. We'll talk about this Tennessee thing and so much more next on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. 1 o'clock hour of the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Quick reminder before we get to Sam that this week's Zone Deal is a $50 voucher to Exarban Cinema and ACX Cinema 12, only for movie concessions. All right? So that is the Zone Deal for this week. You could get your hot dogs, get your pizza, get your pretzels, get your ice cream, get your soda, get your water at Exarban Cinema and ACX Cinema 12. You can also listen to John and Josh this week on Sportsman Iconic for your chance to win $50 movie concession. Zone Deal on sale Friday at 9 for half off. 1620thezone.com. Join now on the hotline by Sam McEwen from the Omaha World Herald. Sam, good afternoon. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. what's your vibe on Nebrasketball tonight?
I think they've got. They probably need Burkhead Buchengel to play.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if he does. They'll probably need him, or they're going to need a historically bad shooting night from Michigan, which can happen. But they have a home crowd, and they have an advantage that a lot of teams don't have. And if that crowd can kind of get into the mindset of where Michigan's players are at, Nebraska's got a chance. They have to start fast. They have to make some shots early. I do think they're going to have to make shots from the perimeter because Michigan is going to be able to, Michigan's going to be able to do take away some of the stuff at the rim. So I think they got a shot. I mean, I don't know that it's a great shot, but they have a shot and they'll take it.
What do you think? Not to go too deep here on Nebrasketball, because I do have some football questions for you, but why do you think this has been such a roller coaster with this group? Where you don't sort of know what to expect on any given night with them?
Well, I mean, I think some of it is they just don't consistently make shots, and so when you don't have very good shooters, teams can kind of play up on you a little bit, and you have to find different ways to create baskets. Bryce Williams at this point is, followed around the court by defenders and can't just go get whatever he wants, even though he has really good scoring games. It's not like he just walks across the mid-court and he's got a free run to the lane. So I think that's part of it. I think they're just not offensively great. And so sometimes they come out and they struggle early and they have to rely on their defense. And sometimes defense mentally and emotionally is contingent upon your offense. And coaches talk about it all the time. It's not that way in football because it's two different groups of people playing.
Right.
But in basketball, a lot of times your defense can be affected by your offense. And coaches will talk constantly about, we can't let our defense affect our offense. Rick Pitino's got a little documentary out right now. It's pretty good. And the speech that's been going viral all over the web is the one where he's like, we don't care if you miss shots, play defense, So really good teams are able to shut out the missing of shots. I think sometimes Nebraska's defense is affected by its poor offense.
Me too.
That's an area where they're trying to get better.
Yeah. Now, on the St. John's part, sometimes they actually prefer it if you do miss the shot. That way you could get the offensive rebound and then have a better chance to score. But that's a different
thing. They got one of the worst shooting teams in the country. St. John's is a team that could in theory go to the Final Four. They could lose in the first round too.
Yep.
They're what you watch for when they get into the tournament, it's just the matchup they get. If they get a team that's able to slow it down and play smart, play for one shot, that thing can be 53-51. There's just no way to guarantee it. And one thing I'd say about Nebraska is they're kind of the same. Like if they get in the tournament, they need a matchup that suits them. If they get the wrong team that can jump all over them, it could be a long night. So first they got to make the tournament, which in my opinion means they got to win at least 2 more regular season games, but probably 3 unless they win tonight. And then they've got to get a matchup that suits them.
Sam, your lead into your rewind today was a game. So the 2014 Fresno State game where it was 1,000 degrees and it was, it was midnight. I feel like that game comes up a lot as a great example of like, why did they do that? Why were they here? And I thought you summed it up pretty well with the bow line. What the bleep was that?
Oh my God.
Just an all-time weird game.
Yeah, it was. It was over within like 4 minutes of game clock.
Yep.
Nebraska was up 14-0.
They took back a punt or blocked or maybe got a pick 6 or something like that.
Yeah, the game was over very quickly. Monty Cross had a 60-yarder. Something else happened. Anyway, Fresno wasn't very good that year. They had been good, but they weren't good that year, and they just, I don't know, they screwed around too, and they threw the ball 65 times or something. It was an unfortunate evening, but I think the point that I'm making is that Nebraska's done a lot of this character stuff over the years. Over the last 30 years or so, they've done a lot of things, taken one for the culture of college football. And so this idea that they're doing something, whatever, by dropping Tennessee from the schedule, is just, it is what it's not that big of a deal. I think a lot of that's been social media criticism. I've read some stuff from folks, that, I don't know, maybe they don't quite understand how many teams have changed their scheduling policies or what you're trying to look at, how often Nebraska has been willing to play the hardest games. I understand, disappointment. But at the same time, I think Nebraska is in a moment where they have to be kind of self-interested. There's just no other way to put it. They don't have, the resume over the last decade to just, take one on the chin, and take a $20 million loss in a season or whatever it is and say, well, it's not a big deal. I mean, what are you going to do? Like that's NIL money that they need to use to get players. So the whole era of, Nebraska being sort of a corner store attitude, that's over. That's done. They're going to be a program that spends a lot of money in the effort of winning a lot of games. And they're still behind in coaching salaries. And I think people were probably a little surprised to hear, oh, by the way, Nebraska's salaries 2 years ago were $3 million behind Minnesota. Yeah. They've not been spending a ton of money here. And some of this is on, the head coaches they hired, and Scott Frost just hiring assistants that honestly didn't command a big salary because he brought them from UCF. And Scott's put together a very similar kind of staff again down at UCF, even though it's a Big 12 school. I think Scott likes working with the guys he likes working with. Those guys just didn't command a big salary. And honestly, Rule's first staff didn't command a giant salary, but this one does. So obviously Holgerson is getting 1.2, but he could get 3. I mean, if he were getting paid, if it weren't mitigated by Houston. And my hunch is that after this season, John Butler, Nebraska will have to assess, because I think John Butler will have other opportunities, and Nebraska will have to hold on to him, regardless of how their defense does. I think John Butler is going to put some good stuff on tape, and people are going to be impressed. So they've had to spend more money to hold on to some guys, and I think going forward, you're going to see Nebraska's coaching salaries be much more competitive.
Yeah, and I think people would be happy to see that. It's one of the complaints that I've always heard, Sam, which is like, hey, and maybe people look at the head coaching salary a little bit too much, and whatever it might be. Like, that's just one guy. But the money that Nebraska is actually investing into its program, like, give us an idea. You just kind of explained a little bit of it. Obviously, there's the staff, but you also went through some other things in your rewind about areas where Nebraska is investing and they just either weren't before, or maybe they feel like other schools around the country aren't necessarily investing to the level that they are at this moment.
I think Matt Rule thought Nebraska had substandard playing surfaces and practice surfaces. So they're tearing all those up. And they just installed the field turf in 2022. And the shelf life on field turf is probably, I think they'll say it's 10 years. In my experience, a little less than that. I think the last one went 8 years. But Rule's tearing it up. It's out. I mean, that part's out. They're going to put in the grass later, but he took all the field turf out. And they put in a matrix turf that supplies NFL teams, like 14 of those. And I'll have to go over and look at it. I'm not going to get into my thoughts on field turf and what I thought of it over the years, but I did feel like the product improved. I do feel like the original product was rough around the edges, in my personal opinion. I'm not a scientist. I don't know how all that stuff works. I thought it got better when it was cork versus the tire pellet. But at any rate, he tore it up. And then he put in he's putting in grass fields that are going to be similar to the grass fields they're going to have in Memorial Stadium when they overdo the stadium, when they overhaul it. Green Bay Packer, quality turf.
Yep.
We've been to a lot of northern stadiums that have grass. I've never been to the Packer Stadium. Some are better than others. I've always thought Iowa State had the best turf. Some people say it's Purdue. They have an agronomy program, and it's their turf. I've always thought that turf was a little odd, personally, but
it as exemplified by several major injuries by Nebraska players over the last couple of years.
Right, because not bluegrass. I don't think. I think it's Bermuda. It's a different type. They may use Bermuda at Nebraska. We'll have to see.
Bermuda in this climate. Now we're talking grass talk, Sam, but Bermuda in this climate is a tough thing to pull off.
Apparently, there's a strain now that achieves that. Obviously Purdue has used. I've always thought Iowa State had a real nice surface. Penn State, I think theirs is a little longer because it has to hold up to some conditions that even Nebraska doesn't consistently experience. So anyway, I think there's a lot of different things that happen that they've invested in. Obviously, the nutrition thing is unique. They're partnering with a hospitality company, and that hospitality company does mostly work with the NFL and NBA teams, and so the product of the food is really something. We're going to delve in more into that, but they're doing different things that I think are helping them. I think they've continued to want, I think, grow their support staff and get all the people that they want around them, around the student athletes, and really usher. So what Matt Rule wants to do is he wants to modernize the way that student athletes are treated, in the sense of, like, he wants to be 2025, right? Like, he wants that. But simultaneously, Connor, he wants to be able to create a level of accountability that's closer to 1989.
Mm-hmm.
Best way to put it. And so, and I'm not trying to knock kids today. What I'm saying is, he feels like they need that team to be kind of like mentally tough, because they're probably not going to get the caliber of athlete that Ohio State has. So you kind of have to find an edge somewhere else. And so I think what he's going to say is, we're going to give you the best food, and we're going to give you really good academic support, and we're going to do this and this and this. In return, you need to be a tough dude and deal with all the stuff and put up with it and be resilient and all that. And so I think that's probably what he's trying to do.
Wouldn't that, theoretically, wouldn't that work counterintuitively? Like, if you're giving them all, if you're giving them all of these things, and we're spending the most money and we're investing in you, wouldn't you be at the risk of then getting complacency on the other end? I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud right now.
No, I think that's fair. I think what he tries to do is create those expectations up front. And then I think the new players, when they get here, they go through the mat drills right away. And what they experience, I think, is something a little bit more this is the way it's going to be. And so it's, sort of I think there's a clarity of expectation that's created right away. I don't, you would either want to play for Matt Rule and you'd love that, or you'd be like, this isn't quite for me.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go. Because I think the thing that I'll say about Rule is, I think he's able to lighten the mood and have fun and all that. He is a relentless guy.
Totally.
So you're not going to, how do I put this? Mike Riley wasn't that way. And at times I don't even know if Bo was. Bo was kind of his emotions would go up and down. But I don't know that Bo was but Matt Rule is, he's on all the time.
I think there's a discipline there for sure.
Yeah, and there's just an energy. The other word I would use is energy. If you're going to play for Matt Rule, you kind of have to be in this culture of he could call on you at any second. You're in that meeting, and he could look to the fourth row, and you don't really know who he's going to call on, but he could look to the fourth row and go, so and so, where's this and this and this, and you kind of have to know, because that's kind of who he is. He's not, he wants everybody kind of in the same energy level page. And I think they've generally had that. I think they've got to make sure that some of the younger guys that are going to be the future of the program are operating at that metronome too. And so you have to quicken up a few of the younger guys who are going to become the leaders. In that freshman year, you can be kind of happy-go-lucky and smiling and, man, isn't this fun? But as you get older, you need to get a little more impatient with that, and become a little bit more all right, now I'm getting toward the end of my time here, and every second counts. And so I think there's,
Let me ask you this. So this is I'm glad you brought that up because it's sort of related to the question I was going to ask you anyway about Dannon. So we've talked about it with Rule. His personality, the way he goes about his business, like I think he is pretty well fit for a job of this caliber because he is on all the time. And he doesn't seem to mind it too much, right? Like I think he likes being on all the time. How do you think Troy Dannon has adjusted in that same vein? Like I've gotten the sense now that he likes having his fingertips at the controls of as big of an operation as Nebraska has in the position that they're in right now. Like, what have been your observations about him recently?
Well, I think what I would say about Troy is that, he comes to the Nebraska athletic director role having kind of done everything in the department. Like, granted, he wasn't an AD back when he was 30. He worked for the high school union over in Iowa. But this is a guy that was put
right. He came up the ladder.
Up interviews. Putting donuts on tables, and you go to a high school basketball tournament, and part of what you know what you see is there's donuts and popcorn, and he's talking to everybody. That's who Troy Dannon is fundamentally. He came all the way from he worked his way up, and then he had these other jobs along the way, and the experiences that he gathered along the way have shaped where he is now. And he's kind of had to what's the right word? I mean, they've had to fight and claw and scratch for everything at Northern Iowa and Tulane. And then, Washington, I think things went pretty well the 6 months he was there. But so when you have that mindset, I think what you're thinking about is, okay, how do we catch up? How do we do this? How do we get here? And I'm sure that's what he was thinking about all the time. When he's at UNI, how do we catch this? And how do we do that? And how do we get over here? And how did UNI match North Dakota State in football? They didn't really do that. But so anyway, I think his mindset is very much, I need to work with these coaches to get them where they need to go. And then like all of the presentation details need to be really sharp and on point because, like that can be the difference between, success X or success Y. At Nebraska, there has at times been a tendency to just sort of roll it out. Frankly, when Dannon was introduced at Nebraska, I thought that was a very informal sort of, hey, this person's going to talk for a while and this person's going to talk. And that Dannon, the way he handled the Danny Busboom Kelly introduction was very different. I mean, it was very structured and they had a plan and they had a little interview after the fact and they brought her whole town in and like, you start to think about all the details there, and that's the kind of person he is. And so I think the thing he's always thinking about is covering his bases and making sure that everything is what it needs to be.
Yeah, I've gotten that sense from him too, just recently as some of these decisions have sort of come to light as well. And you get to we've gotten to know Troy Dannon a lot more recently than we did before, given what some of the things they've had to announce. All right, Sam, we'll let you go. Great stuff as always. Appreciate the time. Enjoy your week.
All right, you too.
Sam McEwen from the Omaha World Herald. As always, you could check out his Rewind. It's up right now, omaha.com, where he wrote about just that, the decision that Troy Dannon and Matt Rule made to not only get out of the Tennessee game, but obviously investing in themselves a little bit. I just think Dannon, I think I said this before the show, and maybe I just said it to Sam too, but like I just get the sense that he really likes being the athletic director at Nebraska and all that entails. I mean, it's a lot like Rule in that scenario. And the thing that Sam was just explaining as well, about how both of them have sort of worked their way up a little bit. They're at smaller jobs, they're doing different things. And I think that's something where they sort of see eye to eye as well. But I think Rule likes being the coach at Nebraska, not only because it fits him, but he I think he likes being the voice. I think he likes being the representative for a program. And I think Troy Dannon kind of does too. I think he likes speaking for Nebraska. And certainly handles himself well in those environments, but definitely feels to me like I don't know. He just likes he likes the attention that Nebraska sort of gets. Downplays the right things, up plays the other things, and likes being out there and certainly visible. He's been very visible lately, that's for sure.
He took a couple months at the beginning to okay, let me figure out what this place is.
He was in the
weeds,
weeds,
and then
he was laying low.
All right, I'm back out. Also, I just Googled Troy Dannon just for the heck of it, just to see what came up. Luckily, I did.
Yogurt.
Because in one of those little Google boxes, it says, see also Tennessee Volunteers football team.
They have been coming up in a lot of searches together recently.
I imagine so.
Omaha writes in on YouTube.
Hi, Omaha.
Troy did get rid of John Cook. I don't think Troy did that.
Happened on his watch.
He did leave on his watch. I think the athletic director at Nebraska actually handled that one quite well.
Okay.
To be honest with you. Speaking of volleyball,
some big announcements this morning.
Yeah. Hold on. I got to go back in my inbox now and find all the things. The AVCA First Serve Showcase at Pinnacle Bank Arena, which we knew was going to happen. The matchups have officially been announced. By the way, there will be 2 matches on each of these 3 days, August 22, August 23, and August 24. And then there will also be 2 matches played as a part of this showcase on Monday, August 25 at the Sanford Pentagon in Sioux Falls.
Oh, okay.
So who will be shipped off to the Sioux Falls Pentagon? Not Nebraska and not Creighton.
Interesting.
So Friday, August 22nd, the AVCA First Serve Challenge will start. Well, I guess times in order TBD, but I would imagine the event will open with Nebraska. They're playing Pittsburgh on their first day. And then there will also be a Florida-Stanford match at Pinnacle Bank Arena on the same day. The next day, Creighton will be the local headliner. They'll be playing Penn State, the team that ended their season this past year.
Revenge.
That's pretty awesome. Kansas and Vanderbilt, also on that Saturday. Nebraska gets another match against Stanford. So Nebraska gets Pitt and Stanford on opening weekend at Pinnacle Bank Arena. And then Florida and Pitt are going to play each other. Creighton just has the one game in the AVCA First Serve Showcase. Now, remember, Creighton and Nebraska will play each other in volleyball this year in Omaha the big arena, as a part of their series, their rivalry series. So, pretty good showcase for both schools, and good opportunity for the world of volleyball to descend upon Lincoln, Nebraska, which people are saying is the volleyball capital of America.
What a first.
Maybe the state of Nebraska.
What a first match for DBK.
Not bad. All right, we'll be back after this on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
Ready for a little surprise bubble alert, Josh? Team that's on the bubble that is like, wait a minute, how'd they get there?
Indiana.
That is exactly right.
Oh,
you nailed it.
Look at me. I know ball.
The Hoosiers, with their 16 wins now, and 2 out of their last 3 games have taken down Michigan State and Purdue. Michigan State game was on the road. That's worth a big gold star on your resume.
Hello.
And then took down in-state rival Purdue yesterday. Kind of beat them pretty good. And the Purdue and Indiana thing in basketball is not it's not pretty. They finish with Penn State, Washington, Oregon, and Ohio State.
Okay.
And if you win 2 out of those 3 games, all of a sudden you're sitting at 18-13, 9-11 in the league, with a couple crucial gold star wins on the resume, and not too many horrendous losses. Not too many horrendous losses, as life in the Big Ten would suggest. Getting beat by Nebraska, who's kind of in the same category as they are, like as bubble-ish, bubble type of teams. Obviously, Indiana coming from a different place than Nebraska is right now. Indiana plays a less strength than what Nebraska has as it pertains to the bubble. That probably doesn't look excellent on a resume. Some of these losses are by gigantic spreads as well. They were killed by Illinois on their home floor. They lost to Iowa badly on the road. But there's also a what have you done for me lately thing in here as well. And if you're able to finish 18, 19, 20 wins, around 500 in the Big Ten, and you were also Indiana, I don't know.
You could find yourself in Dayton pretty easily.
Yeah, indeed. Indiana right now on the old bracket matrix.
3, Connor.
3 out of the 100, out of the 87 brackets, apparently. We went from 104 to 87.
Keep getting lower and lower.
We've got the bad ones, I guess. 3 brackets out of the 87, but the number will continue to rise as brackets continue to be updated today. That also reminded me, I haven't seen a whole lot of rumors out there about the Indiana job recently.
Pretty quiet.
I did see one that had half-assedly mentioned Mac.
Yeah, Greg McDermott.
Yeah, people just do that every year now. I'm not paying attention to that anymore. It is on the hot board that I'm looking at on the dailyhoosier.com right now in the tier 2 category. Tier 1.
Tier 2, okay.
Tier 1 listed as Brad Brownell at Clemson, Mick Cronin of yelling fame, Scott Drew. I feel like Scott Drew is another one of those who's been on everyone's hot board for basically the last 20 years. Grant McCaslin at Texas Tech, Ben McCollum. Now, what would Indiana fans, the school who loves to think of themselves as the biggest blue blood of all time, right? We're Indiana. We're Hoosiers. What would they say to hiring, admittedly, a good basketball coach, but a good basketball coach who was coaching for the Division II Northwest Missouri State Bearcats 1 year ago? What would they say to that? Would they be
have
fans?
A hard time with that.
Yeah, I don't think they would be fans, Josh.
I mean, the wins are there, but the certainly doesn't have an aura about him.
Well, I mean, winning games is a
that
pretty. And if you're a good,
should be the thing that matters most.
Exactly, Josh. So if you strip all of it away, a good basketball coach is a good basketball coach at any level. But when you're at a job like this, Nebraska football has had the same problem over the years in hiring coaches. When you're at a job like this, it's not just being a good basketball coach. You have to show me that you could be a good basketball coach at a place like this.
Can you live
And
in the
his-
fishbowl?
and-
Can you?
Well, it's like you have. It's not only living in the fishbowl and like adapting to it and being good at it. It's also like you have to win at a place like this.
Yeah.
Right. You have to, or either that or win like at an astronomically high level at not a place like that for like 20 years.
Right.
And so people would just probably be like, seriously, this is all we could get. This is all we could do.
You got the
Sure
D2
he'd be
guy.
I'm sure it'd be a good hire and they'd probably win right away. I hope we see more of a trend of guys like Ben McCollum getting hired across college basketball at major jobs, to be honest with you. Buzz Williams and TJ Otzelberger are also on tier 1. I mean, think about where those other guys come from and not Ben McCollum. Clemson, UCLA, Baylor, Texas Tech, Drake, Iowa State, and Texas A&M. Like each of those schools have made deep runs into the tournament under those coaches over the last several years. Maybe not Buzz quite yet, right? Well, they go to the Sweet 16 last year. They win the game after they beat Nebraska. I don't think they did actually. But yes, there are some names on that list. Just curious as to what's going on with Indiana. But we might not have to worry about that right now. They might be completely distracted because they might make the NCAA tournament.
Sort of like the Long Beach State coach. Was that last year or 2 years ago where they're like, well, whenever Long Beach State's run is up,
You will be fired.
Retire.
Yep,
Yeah,
you'll be fired whenever this season is
and they just
over.
get like they won the conference tournament or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he was DOA.
They say you will be
And they
fired
kept
after
winning.
the season, and then they just kept winning.
Yeah. What if we never lost again?
It's always an option, Josh. Just win games. All right, we're back after this with the polls. We'll tell you what to watch coming up on 1620 The Zone.
Upon further review, the host point is good. The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Los Hills Harley-Davidson is ready to turn up the heat with a Mardi Gras bash like no other. Cruise over to I-29 at the Glenwood exit for a day of live music by the Midwest Message, playing hits from the 60s to today. Dive into a Cajun feast with unforgettable gumbo. Enter our
Shout out to our good friend Michael Severe, who is cooking something up right now.
Oh.
Is
it gumbo? Jambalaya?
Maybe, but he's cooking some other things up that you guys might enjoy. That definitely went over really well the last time he did something like it.
His segment on unsportsmanlike conduct later today. I get it Mondays with Michael.
Maybe you'll hear something about that. But also shout out to Michael for once again sending me something that is like a food related, like here's a pop-up thing, but of course it's going to happen while I'm on the radio and am strapped to this chair.
Mm-hmm.
But then Michael will say, Connor, I will bring you this thing, this food item, if you just ask. I'm not going to ask someone to bring me food. I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to do it.
So we're not getting this delicious food in the studio.
Is
that what you're saying?
You would have to ask.
Okay.
You would have to ask. But you don't even know what this food is.
I don't know what I mean, I like more food than I did with last time we did this show. Big chili guy now.
It's one of my it's one of my favorite sandwiches. Like styles.
Lobster roll?
Close.
Cuban?
Yes. It's a Cuban.
I might ask for a Cuban.
Do you have to say the words? As Jesse Pinkman would say, say the words. Nothing happens until you say, I want this. Say it.
A little bit of that.
You're not going to say it still?
I would need to do more research. When is it?
It's tomorrow.
Oh, I better get cracking then.
Yeah, it's tomorrow during the show.
We could be eating a Cuban during the show tomorrow.
But you won't say it.
I don't know. I don't know who's cooking it. I don't know. Maybe I hate that person.
Poll questions. Josh won't say it. At Happer Show on the JTech Constructions on Twitter feed. Has Hooters lost its edge? Why does Gary and Matt always want to talk about Hooters at Twin Peaks? If you couldn't tell,
it's a horny
I
show.
was just trying as hard as I possibly could to not talk about Hooters during that segment. And yet we spent 20 minutes talking about Hooters.
Yeah.
And the first exit ramp I could find, I got out of there.
And Matt's hairy arms.
Yes, of course it's lost its edge. 88% say yes. Is the Buffalo Wild Wings Scoville scale lying to you?
Yeah, I think so, probably.
76% say yes.
Gas yourself up a little bit.
Did you know that Truth Magnum spilled his nachos?
Oh, it's breaking news.
I did not at the time, but do I know now? Yes.
Yeah,
so which way do I vote?
Important
I'll say no, since the tense is did. 79% say no. Did Nikola Jokic seem like a Taco Bell guy? No, I don't think so. I know he's fat, and I know he's drafted during Taco Bell commercial.
I like that he plays basketball, though.
67% say yes. Are your takes your currency? Yes.
I think so.
Mine in particular. 51% say yes. Josh, those are the polls. What are we watching tonight?
We are watching some college basketball. It's Big Monday, Connor. Number 12, Michigan at Nebraska, 7 o'clock on FS1.
Who's doing the game?
Oh, Nick Baugh is involved in this in some capacity.
You got it.
Connor Onion with him?
Guess again.
Oh, Kugler?
I believe that is correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Kevin Kugler, Nick Bahey.
Wow. Okay. Good luck to those guys.
Dear friends.
Yes, Kevin Kugler is rooting for Michigan in that game, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, Houston at number 9, Texas Tech, ESPN, 8 o'clock tip time there. With a win, Houston will clinch at least a share of the Big 12 title.
At least a share.
That's right. There's more season to go. Women's game, 6 o'clock on ESPN2, number 19, Baylor at number 12, K-State. The only NBA game is going to get blacked out here on NBA TV, so we advance to the NHL. Just a 2-game slate, Sharks and Jets, 6:30 on NHL
Sharks
Network.
and Jets?
Oh,
really?
Yeah!
Sharks and Jets?
West Side Story.
Sharks and Jets are getting together. You know it's going to be a wild time.
Did not do that on purpose.
Wow, Sharks and Jets.
Yeah, big one in the NHL. Golden Knights and Kings, 9:30 on ESPN+. And there really isn't much else on, so after it won Best Ensemble at last night's Screen Actors Guild Awards, after the news that our current actual Pope ain't doing so well, and with the Oscars being on Sunday,
you're going to tell us to watch that Pope movie?
I will tell you to watch the Pope movie on Peacock, Conclave. It's nominated for 8 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. watch a cardinal vape for 2 hours. It's pretty entertaining.
We're about to learn a lot about popes and the process of poping.
That's right.
Exciting stuff. Unless, I mean, it's very sad.
Sad, yes,
obviously.
but there is sort of a buzz when we declare a new pope. Have we seen the smoke yet?
Josh, thank you.
Thank you, Connor.
That is what we're watching. That's the show. If you miss anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. The crossover is coming up next.